Welcome back, people. It is episode 17 of season 4 of the Taxi Squad podcast. If you're watching this on the YouTube, you will notice something is different. Vince and I are back together again.
Woo!
Here we go.
No,
boys are back. With all that being said, subscribe, like, and follow. Hit that bell underneath that beautiful fotch. And of course, be sure you share it to a friend. With all of that going on right now, we do have the Draft Spectacular competition in full swing. If you want to win some awesome Taxi Squad gear, we highly recommend you join us and prove what you got.
Today's the last day. Drafts tonight, kids.
Let's do it. So with all that being said, we do have strange and unusual topics. Umpires are getting crazy this year. NCAA football talk, the NBA playoffs, and of course, the pre-draft draft day chat. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. Kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
Vince! We're in the same room, man. How do you feel about
I know,
it?
dude. I'm so happy.
So
You're looking so tan. Actually, I feel like in this lighting, I look tan. And also, apologies for the little shadows in the back. I'm trying to make like finger puppets that are eating each other. So if I do that periodically, just know that's me acting up. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're in my abode. And I'm happy you're in Chicago experiencing the 40-degree weather in all of its glory, brother.
Oh, yeah, I'm back. Blood's thin. It's great. I feel great, you know, in town doing some work stuff,
Yes,
doing
sir.
some fan stuff. I'd like to shout out a good friend of ours, friend of the show, Tony. Happy
Anthony.
birthday. Happy birthday. Hey, leave it to that. Two Italian kids with a friend named Tony.
How you doing?
Well, Vince, I mean, listen, we're back in town.
Yep.
You know, the Cubs game is live. We hear the cheers in the background. We hear the trains going by.
What a feeling. I don't know if I've heard cheers from a baseball game on the south side all year.
No, we have definitely not. It's so
Yikes.
sad. We are making history as to how terrible the White Sox are right now. It's pretty impressive.
It's bad news.
Yeah, pretty bad news. But hey, man, it's great to be back in Chicago. You know, enjoying the weather, kind of. You know, is it weird to say that?
I love it. This is the best weather for me. Like
Big guy weather.
light jacket, little hoodie action. Got to rep it for my boy Joe Alt getting drafted tomorrow. Also Sam Hartman, first round draft pick. We'll see.
Getting drafted today, Vince.
We'll see. Oh, today, because we record on Wednesday. It's today.
It's today.
Who would have thunk? I broke the fourth wall. I'm sorry.
Broke the floor.
Everybody thought we record on Thursday.
It's sweater weather. Finally, though.
Sweater
It's
weather.
kind of like sweater weather. It's right in between there. But, I mean, hey, you guys are looking like you're getting some weather. But I won't really be able to experience because I'm out of here next week.
Yes, sir.
But with all of that, Vince, I mean, we got some strange and unusual
Yep.
topics. This year in particular, I don't know what it is. Why is the umpiring horrifically bad?
I feel like we say this every year.
It's bad. No, it's really
Right.
bad this
So
year.
that's
though.
my point. I feel like we say it every year, but it's actually worse. Like on the actual metrics of people checking balls and strikes, all that stuff, it's the worst. People are talking about the robot umps more than ever. That's going to be coming at some point. They're already testing that out in the minor leagues. Like this is a wake-up call. But I think the strange and unusual that we're about to hop into is one of the most like butthurt, angry umpire moves that I've ever seen in my life.
He's an angry elf, is what you're saying?
Well, okay. Do umpires need to be as angry as they are?
I mean,
Because they get mad, right?
yeah, they get pretty mad at things like guys just chirping them, maybe their calls. I think there's a lot of ego involved there.
Which-
you look at Angel Hernandez, like that
Oh.
guy's the largest scumbag on
The worst.
the planet.
He's the worst.
I'd interview him though. I think it would be fun.
Oh,
That
come
would
on
be
the pod, Angel.
Come on the pod,
Yeah.
Angel, and just give us your side of the story, will you?
Well, people talk, yeah, with him too, like it's, like he sued the MLB a couple times for not putting him in the World Series because of his race. And then,
Really?
yeah, which, you know,
If he made it that.
if it's always
What we're
white
doing
guys,
now?
if it's always white guys, like I get it. But if you're unquestionably, undebatably horrible at your job,
Yeah.
like Angel Hernandez is, it's not because you're a race, it's because you're bad at your job. Like that's the reality of the situation. And it's bad. But Hunter Wednelstead,
I was just about to say we're not talking about Angel Hernandez's time, and it's pretty fucking awesome.
Hunter.
Hunter. You know, we talked about this before we got it. I've
Yeah.
never met a hunter in my life that I actually enjoyed talking to.
Yeah, hunters are hard to find. I met probably like 2 in high school. One of them was cool. Outside of that, it was like there's no other. And I don't know how he's doing now. Honestly, I hope you're doing well, Hunter. But yeah, I haven't met many hunters that I really like as people. So this guy's also on my shit list to give you guys some background. Umpire Hunter Wedel-Nelstead. I don't know.
It's German.
Yes, probably.
It's gotta be German.
He kicked out Aaron Boone at the Yankees game.
It's fantastic.
First off, 4 pitches into the game. You didn't even get past the first inning without knocking a guy out. Aaron Boone chirping him a little bit because his strike zone was bad. Hit by pitch, full swing. I tend to be on the side of Boone on this, watching it back. He warns Aaron Boone and says, "Hey, any other silly business, I'm gonna kick you out." He was immediately mad. Boy was pressed right when it started. Boone said one thing, which he was correct about, and the guy's just like, "One more word, and you're out of here." Literally, not even 5 seconds later, guy in the background's just saying, like, "Watch home plate," or whatever he said behind him.
"Watch home plate."
Yeah, like literally that's it. And he kicks out Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone rightfully freaks out because he didn't do anything.
He didn't say anything.
And he's sitting there, he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll shut up." And then 2 seconds later, he just gets kicked out. He's like, "I didn't say anything. That was a fan." That's exactly what happened. And the worst part about it is he comes back out the next day, and instead of saying, "Hey, I was wrong," which he should admit that he was wrong. I've been forever of the opinion that umpires should also have to do media after the games, so they have to be held accountable for what they're doing.
It's a wonderful idea.
I think they should. I understand why they won't, and the union won't allow that. Whatever. It is what it is.
It'd be great.
But he essentially said, Aaron Boone's in charge of the Yankees dugout. If I hear something from that side, it's on the manager. I'm going to kick him out. You can't control what a fan does.
No, you cannot control what the fans do. I've chirped at players before. I think we all have. You've been to a ball game.
Oh, yeah.
You disagree with a call. Chirped at the umpires as well. You know, these guys get super goofy with their strike zones. And, I mean, let's face it. That pitch did, in fact, hit him, but he did complete a full swing.
It was right
check,
through the middle.
But, I mean, he did swing. I mean, there is no doubt about it. Go watch the tape.
Yep.
It is a swing. Now, with all that being said, Wedel-Nelstead boots Aaron Boone, and basically Boone is losing his mind, saying, "I didn't say anything. It was a fan. It was behind me." And he said, "I don't care.
Which is
you're gone."
crazy. Like, okay, so
Could you imagine?
if you break it down, umpire kicks a guy out, he's never going to take it back. Like, ever, right?
No, I've never seen an umpire take back an ejection, be like, "Oh, my bad."
In this occasion, he should have. But I think it's just in the rights. Like, if I kick a guy out, he's out.
It's the ego, kid.
Which I think, and Aaron Boone came out today. He's like, "I understand the MLB's ruling on it, whatever. Like, he got kicked out. You move on. You go to the next game." It's not like he's getting fined or anything crazy like that.
I mean, let's face it. They were playing the A's.
That's true. And that's the thing, too. Boone's like, that was an A's fan. It's like, I think all of them are jumping ship after John Fisher, which we said ad nauseum on this is a huge piece of booty hole.
I still don't understand how baseball is allowing them to move to Sacramento.
Because baseball needs to make more money.
But you're not going to make money there.
Well, yeah, Sacramento for now, and then Vegas where you're not going to make any money, which is going to be really cool when they do that. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I sit there and I see it happen, and it happens over and over again. Again with the Angel Hernandez thing, before Joe West got out of there. I think Joe West is the one that messed up the Armando Galarraga no-hitter, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
I heard an argument today that is more popular than most no-hitters because it went wrong, which is true. Like, you remember Philip Humber?
Yeah, Philip Humber did have a no-no.
No one talks about Philip Humber, but people talk about Armando Galarraga. Like, that happens.
Goes to show you the power of an umpire.
I guess
to
so.
Vince's point, how great would it be if they made a shitty call like that to after a game they get interviewed?
Right.
I think all sports should do it. Between the NFL, MLB, NBA, it would be great. If
well, the
there was
NFL is good because the playoffs, they usually just make their correct calls.
True, I get it, but some of those egregious holding calls for the Chiefs.
Well, no,
Anyways,
that's what I was going to say. I didn't see a problem with that at all.
Oh, come on. Might as well just give the game to fucking Patrick Mahomes at most of these games. I'm just
I thought
saying.
it was good.
I digress. So with his final comments, Hunter, not a fan of this guy, said that an A fan said it, and I don't care who said it. It's foolish to throw out a player if you don't know who did it. The manager's there. Aaron took the hit, and he probably, is not the one who made the comment. But once again, he's the manager of the Yankees, and he's responsible for the team.
Hey, the last 2 words you said?
100% true.
The team. He's responsible for the team.
How does he know who said? This is my
He
question.
doesn't.
He doesn't know
doesn't
shit,
at
but he's
all.
defending it. It's like saying, like, you called somebody out for, I don't know, like your first, you saw something, for example, like you called out like a hit and run.
Right.
And you're like, no, did you see the car? No, didn't see the car. Did you see the make and model? No, didn't see the make and model. Did it happen? Oh, it totally fucking happened.
Oh, yeah, I'm blaming it on him.
Yeah,
right.
he did it.
Whose fault was it? That guy.
It was
like,
that
did you
guy.
see it? No. It's like, I heard something weird, so I was like, I must be that guy. Like, that is impossible. I understand. Like, at the end of the day, it's such a nominal thing. Like, you kick a manager out, he comes back the next day, and yada, 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 it's done. So I don't think Aaron Boone's losing any sweat over this. But this is just another piece of the...
I mean, he
Hey.
toodalooed him for, like, no reason. It's still difficult to wrap my mind around.
I like I think I like having umpires. I will say that.
I understand the value of umpires. So, for example, like they're testing out the robot umpires. Granted, there are still umpires present on the field.
Right.
Now, over the years, they've brought in the replays and the challenges and all these things. Which
None
I do
of
believe are
which
great
were
for the game.
bad. All of which were good calls.
They're great for the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Love the pitch clock. Think that's going well, making the game far more faster than it's ever been. Now, with that, though, umpires, I believe, will become kind of just like
background guys.
fact checkers at a certain point.
Right.
Right? Because, I mean, I love watching these like TikTok videos or YouTube videos where you see pitches clearly down the middle
Yep.
that are called balls.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
The thing, a couple. There was a couple this year that were quite literally down the middle that were called balls.
It's every year.
And the thing is, too, is you got to remember the strike zone's 3-dimensional. It's not a flat surface. So a lot of people like sometimes will see it and they'll be like, "That was in the K zone. It's out." There's a couple, maybe you got a curveball and it catches the inside at the end. Like, yeah, that's reasonable, but that's such a minimal thing. Something that happens so rarely that having a guy that can make that judgment call at that point, it seems so unnecessary. And again, they're causing more grief and problems with the game than they're helping. And like even the umpires that are doing with the robot ump says strike, umpire calls strike. That's what happens.
Well,
that's just reality.
yes, but these guys are egregious at times with like, that's my strike
Oh, it's
zone.
brutal.
And like every game it changes.
Yeah.
And it's pretty horrific, and it's seemingly getting worse. I have a conspiracy.
Okay, give it to me.
Conspiracy podcast. So
Yep.
with all of this, do we believe there could be some potential alleged collusion happening right now by the MLB to push for the robotic umpire in the future?
No,
Collusion?
because why would the umpire be part of that?
I'm not saying the well,
Well-
because they want to make their jobs easier. Because it does. Adding
Well,
the
you're gonna
robotic
lose umpires, no?
I don't. Why would you? I mean, you're still gonna have a behind the plate umpire. You're still gonna have an umpire at first base and
Yeah.
third base, so on and so forth. I mean, it's not like they would lose their jobs, but chances are,
Their only job would be to kick managers out,
right? They're union,
so they get to live they get to live the best life.
I do believe that the MLB might be pushing for it. You already see it in the minor leagues. You could start to see it here. I
Yeah.
don't think it's out of bounds.
What happens if you replace a whole workforce with robots and they're unionized, but the entire union's out of a job?
So the robots are going to be in a union? Is there a robot union?
Well, I'm more so saying, like, you can't stop them
We
from firing
deserve
everybody,
better
right?
wages. AI is taking over the world,
Yeah,
bro.
they're so sentient that they make their own workers union for more rights.
Yeah,
That's a life we're gonna be in at some point,
I
guys.
think
Just,
so. It's
just
like
understand
fucking
it.
iRobot
Yeah,
over here.
it quite literally will be. Or like if you ever watch Detroit or ever play Detroit Becoming Human, that's what that game's about.
That's crazy.
Yeah, do you respect robots as humans? I'm like, I took the stance of no.
I do believe there could be some collusion, but we will see in the future.
Like
as
if I'm
to
gonna
how
be
this
anti
progresses.
everything, I try to be like everybody's free and equal and everything's great. Like if I'm gonna be anti everything, it's gonna be robotic rights. I can't do anything about it.
Well, like, do you remember when like self checkout came out and people were like, they took their jobs?
Yeah.
But now
Everybody's gonna steal. I'm like, everybody does steal.
Yeah,
It already happens.
yeah, everybody steals more so than ever now. Hell, during COVID, you could walk out of fucking Wally World with a TV.
Where the hell have you been to Wally World recently? When's the last time you went to Wally World?
Oh man,
I don't even know if there is Wally World anymore.
No, I'm talking that's a reference of Walmart.
Oh,
Yeah, Walmart.
I thought Wally World was like a
it's
fantastic world of wonderment.
It's a fictitious park in a movie.
That's what it was.
By the name of National
Lampoons. Yeah.
fantastic.
Again,
Chase.
not a movie guy. I'm sorry, guys.
Big movie guy. We digress. But hey, Vince, in other strange and unusual topics.
I'm excited for you. You're really pumped about this.
And other strange and unusual topics.
You gonna subscribe?
And with all of this, you know, we've talked about the Taxi Squad OnlyFans. Could happen one day. Juicy calves.
Check out my feet, dude.
Juicy calves. Maybe some feet pics. You
Yeah.
never know. But
Pay per view, baby.
in the music front, not sport related at all. This came out today.
Is
and
this music front?
This could be. I mean, it's about a music
It's
artist.
music adjacent.
And it's from Chicago. He is from Chicago.
Yeah.
Kanye West came out today that he's starting Yeezy porn, which I mean, come on.
I mean,
it's the most Kanye thing ever.
So, do you remember when he made that song with Lil Pump for the adult video awards?
Such a fucking.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that was him doing a little bit of porn stuff. I think Kanye West is perfect for this. My question is it going to be like baggy and in nude colors? Like, are they all going to be wearing gray and beige, and they're all just going to like bang in a very weird way?
I mean, it could be that way.
Is
it going to be
a
Kanye?
site? Like, is it a site like any other one where people just post random videos on it, or like? Has appears to confirm reports that he is setting up a pornography studio.
Yeah. And he's working with Stormy Daniels' ex-husband Mike.
He
Mose.
legally changed his name to Ye in 2023.
Yes, he did. And he spelled coming
Yeezy
with
porn
a
is
C-U.
coming. C-U-M.
I mean, the class on this guy, I tell you.
Oh,
I
man.
mean, the man has lost his mind many moons ago. The music, I mean, let's face it, it's not the
It's
same
dropped
as
off.
to what he used to be capable of doing from a production standpoint.
Yes.
When you think of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, when you
Graduation.
think of College Dropout, Graduation,
Yeah.
Late Registration, absolute hip-hop classics.
Yep.
And truly changed the foundation of what hip-hop production is forever. Now, with all of that, do you think he's going to do the same in the porn industry, Vince?
No,
No?
I don't. I don't
No?
think he's going to.
You think there's going to be just like really dope beats in the porn? Like
It's like-
really dope 808s.
Like when people used to do the beginning part of like the Pornhub and then put Redbone after it on TikTok to like test like people's boyfriends and shit. Now it's gonna be like the Moon by Kanye. It's like I'll be close, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's watching porn again. Like, it's what is he gonna do? Is he gonna make the background beats? Is he gonna make songs during it?
Listen, if he makes porn like in the stylings of the Runaway music video, which by the way was like a small film.
Was that the one with Kim?
No, Kim wasn't in that one. There was a Victoria's Secret model.
Yes.
Right,
yes,
Pusha
yes,
T
yes,
was
yes.
also in it.
Yes.
And it was a very interesting, and very well shot piece of a music video.
All right, so what can be said is that you're jacked for this.
I'm not necessarily jacked, but
I
I'm
am
just saying, is Hype Williams going to be directing porn now?
Listen,
That's the next question, because Hype Williams, arguably known as like the top music video producer / director
Cole
of
Bennett.
the early 2000s.
Yeah, not now, but before.
It's
going to
be Hype Williams' train on the porn side now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Just what prompts you to do this?
I would
I'm
like
always-
this. I would like to get out in front of this right now. I will
You're gonna look.
look.
I mean,
It's one of those things where
Curiosity.
it's human nature. Like, I have to see what it's like. Not saying I'm going to subscribe to said site. Not saying I'm going to spend a lot of time on it, nor watch anything for more than a couple seconds. But you better believe I'm going to the site and seeing what's up. Because at least the marketing's going to be nice. Because he's good at that.
you're just gonna find it on Reddit. I mean, come on.
That's true.
Think
I guess
about it.
everybody else is like...
Do what we all do. Just go to
Everybody
Reddit.
else, no, I'm just thinking everybody else is going under Twitter threads and being like, you know, hottest girl in Chicago. And you're like, okay, like, I don't know who you are or what you're doing. You know what I've been seeing lately? So I know you're not on Twitter often.
I'm not a
but
Twitter
there
guy.
are-
Shout out to the Twitter
There
world.
are
Okay.
OnlyFans bots everywhere.
Really?
Everywhere.
They're
Every
bots?
sport,
Are they
every
real?
sports post is like, I forgot who said what today.
It's like,
but it was-
it's like, those comments that are like, come check out my site where I get effed in the A.
Right. No, yeah, that's literally it. Like, it'll be like, you know, like Oakland Athletics do something, or like Tom Brady wins next championship or whatever, and then under it was just like I've always loved Tom Brady. Click on my link for 20% off, and then you click on it, and then and the thing is, Twitter doesn't censor anything, so you immediately see everything. Like, leave it up to imagination. Anything you could think of, you will see it on
You
there.
can see it. See full clam on
So
there.
there's been times where I'm just clicking through,
No big deal.
really innocently, like, I wonder what the score was of this game and what people are saying about it. And then 2 seconds later, I'm seeing full frontal.
Full TNA.
So this, I mean, it's a good way to market, I guess. Everybody else is doing it. You might as well hop on the train. But if I was his business advisor, I'd probably say avoid that.
You think Kanye gives a shit?
No.
Kanye's to the point right now where I just don't think he cares.
You want to know what I'm afraid for?
What are you afraid for?
I'm
Vince?
afraid for the day that him and Antonio Brown become chummy.
Oh, man, that would be
Because
just...
ESPN is off the hizzy right now on Twitter.
Didn't he say Caitlyn?
Yeah.
AB posted that he said, I bet you Caitlyn Clark keeps it hairy.
You see his follow-up on that?
No, what'd he say?
So, and I don't condone this at all. I think it's messed up. But a video got leaked of her. And then, yeah.
Okay.
And then he posted, I was wrong. That was so fucked up. It was funny, but it is bad. Like, obviously, it is bad. Like, you can't do that. That is
No.
illegal by so many means. But yeah, when he posted that, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Has he said anything about Paige Buchers, who talks like...
no.
She talks like J-Rock.
You're going to have
from
to.
Trailer Park Boys. Like, if you see Paige Buchers talk, it's just like salutation. You know what I'm saying? I got on that swing.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, take it easy, Paige Buchers. You grew up in Connecticut and you play basketball well. But
The
that's about it.
WNBA draft video was damning. I'll give you that, honestly. But
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
get
I
it.
think it's more of just like basketball culture thing. I think that's what ends up happening. I'm
It's
not
all a part of the WNBA culture.
I'm not
you
sure.
know?
Speaking of, though, Caitlin Clark, $25 million deal with Nike, gets her own custom shoe.
So it doesn't matter that she makes like $70,000 a year.
No,
just
she's
gets
not
25
making.
mil
Well, she'll
for a
probably
shoe.
make like 250, I think, or something like that. But
Oh,
yeah,
that
she's
was-
making 25 mil on that shoe deal, and she gets her own shoe. And this is, I think, it's pretty cool because
Are they gonna make male shoes too?
they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
No,
cool.
because they make men's and women's sizes for the men's shoes. They make men's and women's sizes for the women's shoes. And what I was going to
That's
say
cool.
is there's a couple people that do have shoes in the WNBA right now. I know Sabrina Ionescu, I think that's how you say
that
it.
5 times, yes.
I can't at all. She has her own shoe, and there's a lot of dudes wearing them now.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know. I might get the Clark ones, dude.
There we go.
Might be
Vinny's
repping it. I'm a shoe guy. I'll get the Clark ones.
Jordan
Yeah.
Clark ones.
Yeah.
Changing the game.
Caitlin Clark's the Jordan of the WNBA. But there is a lot of
She
people
hasn't even played
saying
a game. How
I
do you
know.
know? She could
I'm
suck.
kidding. But a lot of people too are like, why are they doing this for her? Blah blah blah. And I think it's important to remember that Caitlin Clark took the fucking country by storm, quite literally, where we were talking about her weekly.
Hey,
And other podcasts were talking about her weekly. Like
she put women's college basketball on the map.
she took a team that, by all means, without her, should not have been close to going to the finals and went to the finals. And
Right.
Dawn Staley said it as much as anybody else, where she was a pioneer in a lot of ways. And I don't think a lot of people can hate on this, but there is a lot of people saying, like, why aren't they wearing other people's shoes now? It's like, because they're not Caitlin Clark. That's just the reality of the situation. I'm sorry.
Hey, you trailblaze, you change the game. You can't hate on it, not for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
Hey,
I have a
Bukers.
squirrel question because
Squirrel.
the Pelicans Thunder game is on right now.
We're watching. It's on
Um,
in the background.
And why do they wear the jerseys that say crescent on it?
I don't get it.
I think it's like supposed to be like, like the Saints have like the little crescent on it.
Oh, okay.
But you're in the playoffs. Why don't you wear the ones that say NOLA on it? Because you're New Orleans. Like, what are you doing?
I don't
That's
know.
like wearing the South Side uniforms for Game 2 with like the ALDS. That
I
would-
bet you they would.
I think
because
they would,
wanna
too.
Lean into it.
But
yeah,
the thing is these aren't different. Like, they have red NOLA ones. I don't know
maybe
why
it's
they're
a-
wearing the
Maybe
crescent.
it's a hype thing. They want to get the players hyped and ready for this game. Currently, right
They're
now,
in
if you're
OKC,
watching this,
though.
it's 21-16. Yeah, they're showing the love. OKC though, man. Shout out to this very young team. They
Yeah.
look fantastic and they shoot the lights out. So
Are you hearing the OKC rumors right now?
what are the rumors?
There's a little sniffles that Kevin Durant might be going back to OKC.
Oh, why? Because he wants to chase a ring.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
usually.
course.
But anywhere he goes now.
Yeah.
But also he kind of builds those teams around him too outside of Golden State. But regardless, Chet Holmgren got his own pair of the KDs. And KD's in the commercial with them.
Hey.
And they said, "Are you ready to put the city on the map?" One, they put OKC in the background. Not a big city, not a beautiful skyline. That was pretty tough to look at. But I think he does have interest in going back. I think that'd be funny if he goes back to OKC.
All these guys do this. It'd be like LeBron when he went back to, Cleveland or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always the player mobility thing, and it's the most relevant in the NBA. These guys jump every single year, and nobody seems to give a shit.
I think we're about
it's
to
booty.
see the inverse.
We'll see.
There's guys. I think there's John Morant who kind of is taking control of his team. I think there's Anthony Edwards that's in charge of his team. I think there's guys that are starting to get more of the Dame Lillard idea and less of the I immediately need to leave and join a team. I think they're starting to get some dog in them again. I like it.
Yeah, as they always say, LeBron made the game mobile, and I think it's nonsense. But hey, did you know, fun fact, that there are talks that they're going to build the largest skyscraper in the U.S.
in Oklahoma City.
Could be a thing.
So dumb.
Why is it dumb?
Because there's no other real skyscrapers there. There's one or two.
That's why it's cool. Vince.
Yeah, you're just going to have a huge rod in the sky by itself.
Kanye approved. You know what I'm saying?
It's the Yeezy Tower?
Approved. Yay approved. Yeah, it's the YeezyPorn.com tower.
Oh, boy.
So, speaking of Yeezy, and this is a good transition because he married this woman, and
we're playing NFL Connections with Yeezy.
This next guy also dated her, so did half of the NBA and NFL. But Kim Kardashian dated a fella by the name of Reggie Bush.
Yes.
A.k.a. Reggie Bushy. Finally, this man gets his Heisman back literally a week after O.J. croaks. Do you think there's any correlation here because they didn't want to give O.J. his back? So they were like, all right, fuck it. We'll wait till he croaks, and then we'll give Reggie his. Over the years, I think it's the dumbest thing ever that they wouldn't give it to him.
Try my conspiracy on the Instagram today. Got my gears rolling.
All right, what is it?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with that.
100%.
Well, because what's the other reason? They introduced NIL in 2021, right?
Yeah.
So they've had 3 years to make that decision. What's happened in the last couple weeks substantially outside of OJ that could make them make that decision?
I don't know.
Johnny Manziel did tweet, "I'm not going to any Heisman thing until Reggie gets his back." I have a feeling that is because he already knew that Reggie was going to get his back.
Do you think they really give a shit about the former degenerate Heisman winner who failed in the NFL? I don't think they care.
Which is what I'm saying. Besides those two incidents,
I don't think Johnny Manziel had anything to do with it. No offense to Johnny. I think what he's doing and his messaging is great. And I mean, you should watch this documentary. I mean, it is truly fascinating.
It was good.
The guy is very interesting.
My guy did a lot of. He skied. Let's say he skied the slopes a lot.
Drake made a fucking song about him. Draft
Johnny Manziel. Oh yeah, that's all over our Instagram right now.
That's all over the Instagram, by the way. So if you're on it, check it out and be sure to
join it. Please
fill out that sheet and win some gear.
Yeah.
But with all that, I'm so happy he got it back. Reggie's arguably the greatest college running back to ever lace it up in the modern era of college football or the 2000s.
OJ was damn good too, though.
I'm talking modern era, 2000 to 2024, over the past 20 years.
100%.
I mean, that Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, that era of USC Trojan football is the reason I am a Trojan fan today.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been easy. I'll tell you that much. After, Pete left, we had some good years with Sammy D and Lane Kiffin, But other than that, it's been rough. It's been smooth, not necessarily smooth sailing.
Coming from a guy that's been to a national championship not that long ago, I do feel bad for you. Didn't win it. I want to make that clear that Notre Dame did not win that national championship. They got smoked, actually. But
when they with Manti Te'o when they played Bama?
Dog, yeah.
Manti Te'o.
Speaking of documentaries.
Hey, that guy had a fit.
I feel bad for the man.
I guess I do and I don't. He didn't do as much homework, and it's like I know he's an innocent college
He was
kid,
a young man.
But he could have done
and also
like
he was from a place where he just does not he wasn't prepared for that.
No.
It's just that was how catfishing worked. That's why that TV show was so damn big because everybody and their mom was getting catfished all over the place. I feel like if I was 22 when that was happening, I probably would have at least bit for one or two things.
Do we believe Reggie Bush may be I mean, he wasn't very good in the NFL. I mean,
He was pretty good. He was okay.
He was okay. He
Yeah.
wasn't like what he would be or compared to anything of what he was in college. Everybody thought he was going to go first overall to the Texans, and they were an expansion franchise. It was like
What was
their
he, like,
second
4?
year. What's that?
What was he drafted, like 4?
2. He was drafted 2.
Yeah.
DeMario Williams was number 1. Went to
Yes,
the Texans.
the Texans. No.
Absolute freak.
Oh, Mario Williams, the defensive end.
Mario
yeah,
Williams
yeah.
went to the Texans.
didn't work out
And
that
then the
great either.
second pick was
New Orleans?
Reggie Bush to New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's when they took running backs like with the second pick. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, what was Bijan last year? 7?
Bijan? Yeah, Bijan's like the highest running back draft pick probably in the past 10 years.
They're talking 3rd round this year.
Yeah. There's not a lot of great running backs in this class. But then again, there is the thing. You can draft and redraft running backs every single year, plug and play.
Right.
Like, I'm still kind of perplexed why the Bears went out and signed DeAndre Swift.
No, give me him.
It doesn't make it. Why put your money there?
Why not?
When
It's
you
not like
have
he's on the
gaping
team for the next.
holes-
He's not on the team for the next 6 years.
You still have large holes on the defensive line. You
And we
still
still
have
have
large
money to
holes on the
spend.
offensive line.
They still
I
have
know
money to spend.
we still have the 3rd most cap room in the league.
Yeah.
I'm just digressing here.
Right.
But Reggie Bush overall, where do you think he ranks as a college player in the grand scheme of things in overall history?
In position or
Yes.
everything?
Position,
Just so
whole shot.
compared to running backs or everybody?
Let's just say everyone. Is he top 10?
God, yeah.
Top
Yeah.
20?
He's top 10.
I think he's top 10.
Dude, he was so electric. And the thing is like I was like 11 when he was playing college football. It's not like I was old by any means, but just you're not getting like this is USC football all the time
No.
if you don't have Reggie Bush. Matt Leinart was very good. Reggie Bush was the man. Reggie Bush was the man. Like, and I don't think we've had a guy in college football like outside of Manziel in his glory year. Like Manziel's not a top 10 player, but
No.
the buzz that he got was.
Yeah, he was prolific.
Yeah,
could
he's that guy to me. If you're thinking about somebody that is consistently in the front of the college football world, it was Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anybody else that's even close.
No, Reggie Bush was truly amazing.
Yeah.
And definitely changed the game for what college football was and
Oh,
did
yeah.
things on the field that no other players did. So finally.
So damn fast, dude.
that man, not only fast, elusive, you name it,
Yeah.
but that whole team, I mean, they were good. I mean, they were really good. And defensively, between Brian Cushing, Troy Polamalu, Clay Matthews,
Wow.
they had dogs. They
I didn't
had
even think about how good the
absolute-
defense was because
Oh.
you always hear about the two-headed monster in the front of the offense. You didn't even think about the defense.
Well, Pete had, that neck, and
Yep.
that's what Pete did, and that's why they won national championships,
Yep.
plural. So, with all that being said, shout out to Reggie, and congratulations for getting your Heisman back after all the nonsense you went through, because you took money, and kids take millions of dollars from these schools now, and nobody really cares.
I know that it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of this. Like it doesn't affect what their decision was here or there. But like, he's been such a stand-up dude
He really
for
has.
so long, and like on television and with the game, and obviously a touch spiteful of the situation that happened, but
I
it
would
didn't
be.
push him away. I would be too. I'd be like, I'm not going to work with you guys. He's been in the front line. He's been talking about it. He's been an ambassador of the game, even though they screwed him. So I love it. My thought, and I've seen this a lot because a lot of people are now yammering for other arguments, is this a domino effect? Are there people, because I saw people getting the, hey, Rick Pitino should be, Rick, like, okay.
Yes and no. Rick
and also you
Pitino
can't-
allowed some pretty fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like,
Reggie just took money
well, right. Can you
to give his family a better place to live when he was at school, and then it got released, and then everybody
right,
lost
which
their minds.
everybody else has done.
But, yeah, if you're a
can
megastar.
you revoke championships? Technically?
Why, you trying to give it to UCF after they complained?
Well, no, I'm talking
Oh.
because Louisville won.
Yeah.
You can't take that. Like,
No.
even if you say they didn't win, it's like, yeah, they did. We all watched it happen. Like,
Well,
like what do
hey,
you mean?
In the words of Rob Manfred, it's just a piece of metal.
I guess, but he's
Just
also
a
a
piece
big
of
dumb
metal.
idiot. So like, that's not a good argument.
Yeah.
I don't think you could take away a championship. You could say you're taking it away, and it's like, all right,
still won.
like we saw it happen though. Like everybody else with a brain is gonna tell you who won. Like
It may start a little bit of a wave.
Jim Trussell, is he back to glory?
Pete Rose?
No,
Oh.
you can't bet on your own team to lose. That's crazy.
Yeah, pizza, he's that guy. He recently came out and said the easiest place to hit is not the minors, not in college, not in high school.
It's the major leagues.
It's the major leagues, which I still can't believe.
Well, yeah, he also played the major leagues when,
Guys were smoking
guys
cigarettes
were calling,
in the dugout. Yeah.
Yeah. Lefty boom whack up at the plate, all that kind of crap.
Can we discuss one thing here? So, was Matt Leinert's fall from grace from being arguably one of the best college quarterbacks in the league at that point in time? I mean, he was truly amazing.
He was lefty too early.
Lefty too early. Then gets drafted by Arizona in the first round and was very underwhelming.
Yeah, then he got Kurt Warnered.
Yeah, then he got Kurt Warner.
That sucks.
Then Kurt came in and took the team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, lefty quarterbacks are hard, man. I mean, if you wanted to lay out a list of, especially in football when it was more forward pass heavy, how many lefties are there? You got Tebow, that didn't work out. Tua, the experiment's still happening.
Yeah, I mean the theory's still
Vic,
out on Tua.
Vic was a wide receiver speed with a quarterback arm strength. That changes things.
Arguably one of the best arms ever.
Right. So other than those, you can't. Quite literally in Little League, for better or for worse, coaches are like, you're a lefty, you can't play quarterback. That's what they tell them, dude.
Well, the game is played towards the right. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, and offenses learn that way, and players learn that way. And when you switch it, you have to learn a whole different way to look at the field.
You have to flip the whole field. You're correct. But with all that being said, I'm very happy for Reggie Bush, and I do believe it definitely helps write the name. To your point, he's a great ambassador of the sport on FS1 every Saturday. So with that, I'm excited for it to come back. And we got the draft talk coming up. We're going to get to it. But Vince, right now, the NBA playoffs in the full swing. We got it on in the background. Heat won tonight, beat the Celtics. I mean, that's looking great. Tyler Hero went off tonight. I mean, I guess we just need to talk about, let's get it out of the way. Everybody was high and mighty on the Bulls there for a little bit.
No.
They thought they might have a shot considering Jimmy Butler wasn't on the team because he has a strained MCL, I believe.
Yeah.
And, the Bulls are going to Bulls.
I thought there was a piece that they possibly could have pulled it out, but what's the payoff?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this argument's been made a lot, so it's not like I'm making it up myself, but best case scenario, they go to the playoffs, they get swept by the Boston Celtics, and Jerry Reinsdorf makes money on 4 more games.
Yeah.
That's all that happens.
I'm tired of
You're not going to beat the Celtics in a single game like the Heat did.
I'm surprised they haven't brought that milkshake from the South Side to the Bulls games.
Might as well,
I think they're going to start doing that
just
soon.
as goddamn sad. This wasn't a year of a beard bet. This wasn't even a year of a thought of it.
No.
And to be honest, if
Vince was high and mighty. I think last year was the last year Vince was.
Last year was the last year where I was like, we have a chance. We have a chance. And then I was like, never mind. This team buildup is just not it. So this year it was, you saw me online. I was like, all right, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'll just wait and see. I don't think the Bulls are going anywhere with this current roster makeup. It's just not going to happen. But what I do want to bring up is my friend Kobe White, who, mind you, in the first play-in game, 42 points on their heads. Absolute showing. Statistics don't matter. Doesn't show up in playoff stats. Doesn't show up in regular season stats. So that game is essentially lost to history, which sucks. But he's so good. And all year he's been so good. And all year he's been playing a lot better. And I would like to make the argument that he deserved most improved player. He lost it to Tyrese Maxey this year.
Yeah, he may have, gotten a smidge of an overlook here. And he played on a team that, on one of many guards between Lonzo Ball
not playing,
and then not only that, Zach LaVine
barely
not
playing. Yeah,
they had Patrick Williams at guard for a while.
Patrick Williams is such a bust.
Exactly. So with all of these things, he plays on a team that's largely composed of guards.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't probably had the chance to play this year if that wasn't the case. If all these guys didn't drop like
flies. He would have been a 6th man. I mean, at the end of the day, he was the 7th overall pick.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a high draft pick. There's no doubt about it. He's a guy now that I think he's a chip that you could either trade while he has the most value right now.
He's ours, baby.
Which he's a good culture guy, and I think you need that on the team. He's very similar like a Pat Bev. You got to love that. I mean,
He's a Pat Bev with worse defense and way better shooting, though.
Right.
That's really what it is.
He really dialed up his shooting this year, and you could definitely look at the percentages there. I mean, it's up year over year. So with that, I could understand the overlook for Kobe White, but
my thought, dude, it's like Tyrese Maxey played very well last year, and he didn't have the same numbers because of James Harden. It's not that he's more improved, and I know he is, and I'm not trying to slight him by any means. He's good. He's a great player. But, like, Kobe White quite literally, like, had the chance to get better because he wasn't shooting as good as he did this year. Like, everything, Tyrese Maxey just essentially took his numbers and did that. Yeah. Essentially same idea of shooting numbers, just way more volume because James Harden was gone. Kobe White essentially played the same role for a lot of the year and played so much better that he moved into the role. Again, I'm a homer. I'm going to be biased with this. Like, I've been waiting for him to play well, and he's finally playing well. Also forgetting that he's like 6'5".
Well, yeah,
but he looks like he's 6'1". Like,
well, that's the NBA. All these guys, the size you have to be to play.
He's also a skinny man, so you forget.
Yeah, the size you have to be to play in this sport's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
and I mean, we would look like midgets. So with all of that, I mean, that's something you have to wrap your mind around. But
right.
I understand your thought process of the oversight that he more so led a
respect
team.
My boy, dude.
Led a team by himself. Really was that figure. Yeah, and you know, put some respect on his name. I mean, he did a wonderful job on a very poorly ran and led Bulls team with terrible ownership that also owns the Chicago White Sox.
True.
Now, with all of that being said, I don't know if you saw the recent statement from Bulls management, but at their end-of-season press conference, they did say there needs to be major changes and even alluded to the fact
they'll bring
that
in Jay Crowder next year.
maybe bring a new culture and re-envision this team. So
what kind of English is that?
Here's what I saw recently, and this could be fantasy land.
I hate
so
this.
Some people are saying, okay, and you'd have to move on from Zach LaVine, and you know, you get rid of Porzingis. No, it's not Porzingis. Who's the Vucevic?
I wish we
get
had
rid of
Porzingis.
Vucevic. Yeah, I know. You get rid of Vucevic. You get rid of these guys who really don't play defense and are just one-trick ponies. And not only that, they're always
also
hurt.
Guys that have expectations that have played considerably under it in the most important situations.
Correct.
Like Vucevic gets his numbers. You look at his numbers year in year out, you're like, that's good, but that's also statistics, and they don't tell the full story. Like,
correct.
Game down the line, Vucevic is going to take the shot, and he's going to miss it, which sucks. And I want him to be good because he seems like a nice guy, but that's not how Chicago works, dude.
Let me finish the thought. So
yes,
some people are saying that there might be a way they're trying to coerce a trade to get Trae Young, try and bring in Paul George, and one more piece on top of that.
How?
I have no idea.
Also,
I'm just letting you know what the people are saying.
We get rid of Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, and we get Trae Young and Paul George. We're not much better.
Yeah, you got a point.
The Hawks were what? Like, they were a step under us this year, and Paul George is number 3 on the Clippers.
Yeah, that's true. Trae Young would be good as a typical spot-up guy, like a Ray Allen was.
Yeah, but he's not. He's a 75% usage rate guy, and he's going to hold the ball the whole time.
That's true.
He's like an ISO player that shoots the ball from the logo. I like Trae Young. He's fun to watch. I just don't think it's going to make us any better. Yeah. And it's going to be way more expensive.
Ideally, what would you want the Bulls to do, Vince?
I would want them to blow it up and rebuild again.
Basketball purgatory. I said it for years.
You don't sit in 8th. You don't sit in 8th, 9th, 10th, hoping you get into the playoffs so you can play the Boston Celtics, who are one of the best teams that we've seen in 30 years. Like, that was the best case scenario.
Can you remind me when you were beating on the table stating that the Bulls need to give Zach LaVine the max? I said let him walk. Was anybody here for that conversation last year?
Yeah, because that was, and I still kind of think they should have. Regardless,
he doesn't give a shit about anybody else but himself.
It's easier to trade that contract the way that NBA contracts work anyway. Like, if he would have walked, like, at least they have an asset that they can trade. Like, they were gonna fill that cap anyway.
Who's gonna want that though?
Somebody. If the NBA is the NBA, I know somebody's going to be like...
They tried to trade him to the Lakers. The Lakers didn't even want him.
Yeah, because the Lakers didn't have shit to give us, dude.
Hey, you don't want D'Angelo Russell?
If you have a team like the Sacramento Kings, I think you can make a deal with the Sacramento Kings.
For who? De'Aaron Fox?
Couple draft picks.
Oh, okay.
That's the best way to do it, because at least you're getting something back for the asset instead of letting him walk. The worst thing you can do is let him walk. It's like Ohtani. Where the Angels were like, see ya. Think about the amount of shit the Angels could have gotten for Shohei Ohtani.
We talked about this ad nauseum last year. They could have traded Ohtani for a legitimate haul. There's that word. We've been hearing that a lot in Chicago sports with the first overall draft pick.
Yeah.
Haul.
It's the HAUL pass. It's the Hall pass.
The haul. We could have got a haul, which I still believe the White Sox should do with Luis Robert. But I digress.
Nope.
With all of that, I mean, so you would just want draft picks for Zach LaVine and just try and rebuild, but they haven't been able to draft well. That's
and also
issue.
Draft picks are like, depending on where it is, draft picks are kind of a wash in the NBA. Like it's not good unless you have that main guy. Like it's a dime a dozen every time you find a Nikola Jokic in the second round. Like it's not likely, but you do also find a Jimmy Butler at 30, right? Or you find a Draymond Green at 32 or whatever he was drafted. Like those are there. I think that would be better. My argument is get something for the guy instead of just letting him go.
Yeah.
So if you do send him to the Kings and they want, like, if they want to give us De'Aaron Fox, yeah, you take him, but they're not gonna want to.
No, they want to try and pair those two up.
Correct, and then they can have Sabonis and the best offense and the worst defense. Also, Gordon Hayward on the Thunder. Keep forgetting that.
Hey, Gordon Hayward on the Thunder. Gordon Hayward in his day when
Handsome
he was on the Jazz.
Boy.
Good kid. Not only that, but shoots the lights out. He broke his ankle. It was horrific.
Dude, Gordon Hayward on Butler.
Dude,
what
Gordon
was that?
Hayward on the Celtics when he broke his ankle is the most horrific injury I have ever seen.
I was watching that live.
Watching sports, and it's just like, oh my dear Lord! Like the camera showed it and then immediately panned out.
Was that on Christmas or was that in the beginning of the season?
I think it was like his first game with the Celtics that happened.
Yeah, that was bad. Who did Butler play that year when he was on Butler? They were in the national championship. Brad Stevens was the coach.
That's before Mike watched college basketball.
That was such a fun game, and they almost won it. I think it was like half-court heave to win the game situation, and they missed it. I want to say it was against Duke, which also stinks. You better beat Duke. Like that. Yeah, that was a fun time. I forgot who they were playing. My brain is mush. I'm just thinking about the NFL draft.
Yes, we're about to get to it. So leading into that, the Knicks right now.
Oh, yeah, baby.
The ending of that game, Vince sent this to me the other night.
Oh, yeah, baby.
But this game was truly awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fantastic. Electric at the end.
I was sitting in a hotel room in beautiful Collinsville, Illinois. If you ever get a chance to go there,
don't.
Yeah, I guess enjoy it. It was no offense to anybody living there. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I was in the hotel room by myself, and I couldn't stop myself from audibly being like, oh shit. Like literally me just going like, oh, this is amazing. So to break it down, if you're not a basketball gay, the 76ers were leading up until essentially the end. It was a back-and-forth game. Joel Embiid's got a messed-up leg. He's essentially hopping on one leg and scoring 30-plus in a game. Insane. Tyrese Maxey, the same thing. What happened at the end is there was, I want to say, like 19 seconds left or something like that. 21, yeah. So, yeah, the shot clock was off. First, Brunson hits a short three-pointer that rolls in, kind of like the Kawhi shot back in the day against the aforementioned Philadelphia 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks bring it back down. Shots made. Goes to the out of bounds. Nick Nurse sort of calling a timeout. So the NBA comes out after it and says he did try to call a timeout. They should have called it. He didn't really go up to the ref and go, time. He was kind of just like, timeout, and it didn't happen. Philadelphia throws the ball in. Maxey's the only one trying to get open. Everybody else on the team, like Tobias Harris, Nicholas Batum, all these guys just not doing anything, not trying to get the ball. Maxey gets the ball, falls out of his hands. Ball gets passed out to Dante DiVincenzo, misses a three, and then big Hartenstein in the middle, just beating Joel Embiid to the rebound. Back out to DiVincenzo. He knocks down the last one. Chaos ensues.
Do we think like Joel Embiid, if he was healthy right now, that happens? I don't think he's not playing. We were talking about this. He's not playing 100%. Still drops 35 in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is truly insane. But, hey, man, the Knicks are a typical Thibodeau team. They are going to fight to the very bitter end, and they will play a lot of minutes.
We see this a lot, too. Jalen Brunson was an absolute gamer this year. Like a monster all year. Love his game. All that's great. Small guards go into the playoffs and they play worse. So I know you're looking at it right now, but Jalen Brunson in that game scores what, 24?
24 points,
Which
6 assists.
he put up a lot of shots in that game, and a lot of them didn't go down. But what's good is that kind of opens up the offense for everybody else. The Villanova Knicks, the DiVincenzos, the Josh Harts. That's amazing. One, because that also requires Philadelphia to either like the Sixers or Villanova, so they have to decide which one they like more. But also, it's if Josh Hart can score like that, if Thibodeau can keep this team going, they're young, they're hungry. Mitchell Robinson's still on the team. Hartenstein, they got guys in the middle that are beast. They're set up for success.
Well, this team reminds me a lot of the early or mid 2010s Bulls teams that were young, set up for success. You had Joakim Noah, you had D Rose in their prime, and you had some really good spot up shooters that could get it done. So say what you want about Tibbs, and a lot of guys say they don't like playing for him. But with all that being said,
lazy,
he gets shit done.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree. I think that this game in particular could just be a deciding factor. I think the Sixers get bounced in this series. I know it's going back to Philly now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and we were talking about that too, because it feels like there's a lot of 2-0 series right now. It feels like after you're up 2-0, you're going to win the series, which is percentage-wise you probably are.
What it feels like.
But you're also going home, man.
True.
Like, you're also, like, a lot of people, or a lot of teams, they win 2 at home, and then you go back to the other court, and you're just as easily 2-2 in Game 5. Like, that's not an impossibility. You obviously want to win the ones at home, but there's a realistic possibility that the Sixers get back, Philadelphia goes insane like they do for their sports teams, and then it's 2-2 going into Game 5. Like, it's not impossible. Embiid after the game, very lack of energy, lack of passion comment on it. He says, we're going to win the series. It's going to happen. We're going home. We're going to win. I'd like to believe it, but they also don't have a third guy. Yeah. And James Harden was their third guy, and he won a couple for him last year, and then he stopped being good.
Well, that's what James Harden always does.
Yeah, so I'm expecting that from the Clippers again this year. But regardless, I believe that the Sixers can stretch this to about 6 games. But if Embiid doesn't get any healthier with that leg and the Knicks stay as young and athletic as they can and they don't get tired, I'd like to see New York and Boston meet up. And I know
that'd be a series. That'd be a Subway series.
After game 1, like, Knicks fans were like, we want Boston. It's like, you were the 2nd seed. You're going to have to win this series and the next series to play Boston. Like I get what you're saying, but
the series is tied right now with the Heat, so Boston's not necessarily in. They don't play Miami particularly well, which I find very interesting. I don't know if Spoelstra's got the number on them or whatever that might be. Could be. And especially if Jimmy comes back healthy. Ooh,
we'll see. I don't know
how
long that's going to take.
I always get hot and bothered when Jimmy Butler is
You
playing
love
well.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Is he your favorite player in the NBA?
Probably. Yeah. Just because
not LeBron?
No. LeBron James, the South bitch alone. I mean,
this.
I can't watch a press conference with this guy without like my ears getting hot. It's not good.
Come on, he loves Italian novels.
Congratulations. He's just too cultured for his own good, and he cries and complains when things don't go his way, and he runs like 17 steps with the basketball and doesn't get called for travel.
Yeah,
so, and that's the NBA. But
second best ever.
Either way, so getting into it, Heat Celtics game 2. Game ended tonight.
Yep.
Okay, so
Tyler Hero, 20 burger on the boys.
Tyler Hero, man. I mean, this kid's playing his ass off.
Confusing as shit.
Led
Tyler
that
Hero.
momentum from that game against the Bulls, which he just ate him up and spit him out.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, this team, Jimmy gets back. Watch out.
If they want any chance to win this and Jimmy Butler's not playing, you better have Tyler Hero, Bam, and some other guy scoring 21. You don't have Max Strus anymore. You got Nikola Jovic, not to be confused with Nikola Jokic. That would be love to have them. And then Jaime, rookie. One of those guys has to score a lot. Bam's getting a double-double easy. Tyler Hero essentially is playing hero ball. Haha, pun intended. 24 and 14 tonight. This is what they need if they're going to stand a chance. I do think that the Heat, just based on their experience in the playoffs, probably are the biggest threat to Boston. Because everybody says Boston going in, they're probably going to win. And let's be honest, like they probably are going
play their
to.
asses off all year. They look
Yeah,
great.
they're great, but you play 82 games to go 0-0 in the first game of the playoffs. So yeah, they got to figure out how to close out a game. You can't let the Heat outscore you in the fourth quarter when you're already down. You can't lose by 10 to a team without their best player. That's just not something that you can do and continue to win. And granted, again, 7 games. We're only 2 in, and it's tied. Essentially, it's a 5-game series, and I'm still taking the Celtics in a 5-game series.
Well, it just depends if Jimmy comes back. We have to monitor that.
But he comes back. He's not 100%.
Not necessarily, but knowing Jimmy, he's going to come back. He's still going to ball.
Yeah, but that's tough if your main, like, again, they're good, but, like, they also almost didn't make the playoffs.
Doesn't matter, but it's what you do
I
when
know,
you're in
but
the
you
playoffs.
bring
They
Jimmy
did-
Butler back, and you have guys that, one, haven't played with him in the last couple games against a team that's been nails all year. Like, that's a brutal, brutal thing to try and do.
I'm an underdog guy. I love the underdog in the fight. Always have.
For sure.
Always will.
I'm with you. It'd be cool. I just don't see it happening.
All right, series tied 1-1. They're going back to Miami. I think that's going to change some things. Not only that, okay, but with that, Jimmy's back. I'm telling you, Hero keeps playing like this. This series could go the distance. Not necessarily
That'd be
saying the
fun.
Celtics win, but I would see potentially Game 7 in this. So let's, Vince, a lot of drama in the Pacers and Bucks.
I love it, dude.
Vinny brought this to my attention, and it looks like Bobby Portis, former Bulls great. And
He's doing Bobby Porter shit, dude.
yeah,
That's all doing.
he's just a pest. He's the equivalent of hockey of a goon, and I think it's good. I think the sport needs more of this.
Yeah, Bobby Portis is the man. I always love him. I think he fits perfectly on that Bucks team. Pacers Bucks right now, chippy Midwest matchup. I honestly love to see it. It's kind of a badass, like, it kind of reminds me of like early 2000s type deal. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted the Bucks weren't ever that great at the time, but the Ray Allen Bucks, they had their runs in their day. Bobby Portis and Tyrese Halliburton are in a bit of a tiff. And we saw like the clapping at each other and all this stuff. And this has happened also on the West Coast, which we're going to talk about. But Bobby Portis, to quote, I mean, just quite frankly, they're front runners, bro. Y'all can tweet whatever it is, bro. When shit's going good, they're laughing, clapping, all that. When it's going bad, they're not saying nothing. So essentially he's saying, they're only having fun at the good times.
Look
and
at
then
the scoreboard.
And they get mad at you when they lose. But the Pacers are really good, man. They have a lot of good players on their team. Like, it's not impossible that the Bucks lose to them, especially with Giannis out right now. Like, I could see that as a reality. And now Halliburton, he said, we've had bigger regular season crowds than what we played in the last 2 games in Milwaukee, which I'm like, nice. I don't know if more people in Indianapolis go to Pacers games than.
Well, what else do they got to do? I mean, what do you do in Indiana? No offense to Indiana.
Well, no, true, but Milwaukee's
you-
a much cooler city than Indianapolis.
I mean, they're both on like the same level. I've been to both. I'm not like
Yeah, but
blown
they got
away.
cool theaters and all the breweries and the
Listen,
public market. I like Milwaukee, dude. I'm a fan.
All these cities are trying to be Chicago. Let's face it.
Yeah, I mean, you
The
gotta take for the best.
surrounding cities in the opposite states, so Wisconsin, Indiana, are 100%. So Indianapolis, downtown,
Dubuque.
and then not only that,
St.
Iowa.
Louis.
Okay, yeah, St. Louis. Shout out to St. Louis. We'll be there next week.
Yes,
Either
sir.
way, but with that, all right, all these cities want to be Chicago, and it's not that. But granted, they're cool. I mean, downtown Milwaukee's
I love
cool.
Milwaukee, dude. I have so much fun there.
You go a few blocks. I mean, hey, you got to go to a concert at the Rave. It's kind of a
Or
staple.
the Pabst. The
Or
Pabst
the
Theater's
Pabst is
beautiful.
good.
Or Summerfest. Shit rocks.
Yeah, Summerfest is a great time. You go to a Brewers game. That stadium's really neat.
Dude,
Pain
you
in the
go-
ass to get out of.
You
but
can
good
so
stadium.
you can go to. There's a stretch of bars in Milwaukee, and I'm sorry I don't know the names of them.
How
but
dare you?
you can go to this stretch of bars, and they have a bus trolley thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
and
Yeah.
you just go, and then you hop on the bus trolley, and you make your way back, and then you're dropped off where you were in the beginning. I think it's genius. I love it.
Yeah, they should start doing this more often. It'd
They
be
should do it in
fun.
Chicago.
Yeah. Well, the Cubs do have something similar where they have like a shuttle that takes you to and
Yeah,
from.
it's because they don't have parking lots though.
Yeah, because who puts a ballpark in the middle of a city block?
Well, they do.
History.
They do when cars weren't prevalent.
Yeah, when cars didn't matter, and
Which, for
this-
what it's worth, that's very cool that they can claim that.
well, yeah, because they
badass.
built it here when it looked like fucking Wisconsin.
Yep.
So there's
You think
that
my
old
house was
chest.
there then?
Probably not.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't think
the
they
tree
had,
house wasn't here back
I don't think
then.
they had siding then.
No. I wonder what the longest dated house out here in Lakeview.
Oh, there's old
/Wrigleyville
ones,
is.
man. There's
But-
one that my mom's family used to own that is very old.
Too bad
It's
you don't
so
own
bad.
that today.
I know, dude. I
We
would-
wouldn't be sitting here right now.
No.
Sure damn
Yeah,
sure.
we'd have our own damn studio.
Absolutely. So with all that, Pacers-Bucks, the series seems to be, where is it right now? If we're looking at this,
It's
also
1-0, right?
tied.
1-1, 1-1, yeah.
Also
1-1.
tied. You know, Dame Lillard's riding solo, which I think he's used to. And to be perfectly honest, I think he prefers it.
Yeah, well, I don't know, though, because
This guy's an ego.
when he was in Portland, yeah, but he's never been a big ego guy.
Yeah,
He has been he's been a dog. And mind you, those Trailblazers teams, one of them did go to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
They were playing, they were dogging then, like, obviously they had Nurkic and the surrounding guys, but I mean, you're not winning anything if you're the Bucks if you don't have Giannis. It just is what it is, and you could probably get maybe through one series, but at the end of the day, like, you're going to need him back. There's an opportunity for him to come back. It's looking unlikely for Game 3. So they really have to go out there and dog again, and maybe Bobby Portis stirs it up a little bit and gets one of them kicked out too. I'm not sure, but that's got to be in the cards for you when you're moving forward here. Like, it's very
Who
important.
knows? Maybe Doc Rivers comes out and takes
That's
credit
also
for
an issue.
somebody else's
That's also an issue,
great
man.
fame and success.
If the Sixers still had Doc, they would have lost by probably like 25 instead of 1 or 2. Because Doc Rivers is so overrated. And like Doc Rivers, yeah, he won in Boston one time. That's crazy.
Oh,
That's
still
like
one. Hey, he's better than none, right?
Yeah, but like he's equal to Frank Vogel.
Yeah, Frank Vogel, man.
But people talk about Doc Rivers like he like changed the city of Boston. It's like, no, he won one.
I mean,
which
he
is
has
great.
been to many playoff appearances. Those Clippers teams. With
Yeah,
Blake
he got to the
Griffin,
playoffs a bunch of
CP3.
times, and they were the best team in the West, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, CP3 still chasing that, right?
He went to the Sixers. They put together a God squad. Didn't matter. And now he takes over Adrian Griffin's job to be the head coach of the Bucks.
Which still makes no sense.
It still makes zero sense. It's because he was coaching behind, like, you know, he was a silhouette behind, like, the Wizard of Oz. It's like, I don't know, dude. I don't see it happening. I don't think Doc Rivers is a good coach anymore. I just don't.
They just bring in the safe thing. You know, it's like the NBA's version of Pedro Grafal, right?
That's not even safe. That was just stupid.
Yeah, very dumb. Very dumb.
That's like hiring John Fox.
John Fox.
He won
man.
one, and then they're
Won
like, he's
one.
got to be good.
Yeah, and then
But it's like, oh, yeah, he had Peyton Manning. Because, like, mind you,
he had Jake Delhomme. John Fox had Jake Delhomme. Won a
did.
Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme.
They
There was
didn't
a
win.
No, they didn't. You're
he
right.
won with Peyton Manning, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, and that's when after the Bears hired him right after that.
That's right.
Yeah,
Now-
and that's the thing with Doc Rivers. It's like, yeah, you had Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, and
That's
Rajon
true.
Rondo, who, mind you, gets fourth, but like Rajon Rondo was probably the reason they won that championship at the end of the day. And it wasn't Kendrick Perkins, and don't tell me that because he stinks.
Hey, Kendrick. Hey, it was Big Baby Davis, babe.
Oh,
Come on
yeah.
now.
He
Come
should
on.
work for Yeezy.
Big Baby. Big
Wow.
Baby Davis could, in fact, go work for Kanye. I'm just saying, it could be
Kind
a
of an
thing.
oxymoron if he's talking about his Willie. Cavs Magic. Young group combination here. Neither team are going to do much of anything.
Probably not.
It's
Cavs.
fun to watch. Again, Paolo Banchero, get your credit, kid. He deserves it. My thought is if this doesn't work out for the Cavs, and they've had this team set up like this for a little bit now, small guards, as I was saying before, they get switched on. They can't drive the paint, and they have two of them. And Donovan Mitchell playing the 2 guard, he is a small man. I think, like, one, they have to get past this series, which I believe they will. But if they get demolished in the second round, Donovan Mitchell might be out of Cleveland, man.
A lot of people are saying he could potentially go to Chicago, which I don't know. That might be a mutiny
No,
there, too.
we don't need a guard.
Might be a mutiny in Chicago as well. You never know.
He wants to go to New York, but I don't know if there's a place for him now.
Well, there's a lot of good guards on New York right now. But they got Max Strus, Vince. DePaul legend Max Strus. is on that
Aha, don't forget it.
team, right?
Max Strus is the man. I'm his biggest fan.
You know who has an awesome afro?
Jared
Allen.
Yes, he
That-
does.
Not the Jared Allen that rushed defensive end, but he plays
Yep.
center for the Cavs, and the afro is like
Yeah,
something
yeah.
straight out of like a 70s like funk movie.
Oh, dude, you remember? Like
It's
there
like-
was like a week where everybody was roasting his style.
Well, hey,
Because he would just wear Vans and jeans and like a zip up hoodie, like really normal.
See, this is what I really dislike about the NBA. Bless you. This is what I really dislike about the NBA. With all that, all right, it is like the most style-driven.
Oh, what? You can't
Like-
swag?
I'm not. You don't see
Bro, you're
swag
a
in
hater.
baseball. You
Yeah,
don't see
because
swag
they're
in
boring.
baseball.
Because they're boring.
Shut
dude.
up and dribble.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
That is not something that we agree upon. I want to make that clear.
I guess that's why
you gotta
I'm not
look
a fan of the
good
NBA.
to feel. You like the NFL is your favorite league.
Yeah, they don't do. You know,
Yes,
I
they
guess
do. Every game,
Kelsey does
they
that.
walk in.
Kelsey does that.
Every team,
Yeah, yeah.
every single team.
Hey,
does
Kirk
that.
Cousins walks in fucking cold.
Yeah, you
gear.
hate Kirk Cousins because he's wearing chains.
I'm not gonna. Hey, Kirk Cousins in chains is funny and ironic.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, dude.
I'm just saying.
I think look good, feel good, play good. I think you walk
why
in
you
looking
gotta roast a guy if he
swaggy.
just wants to wear a hoodie and some Vans?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think they should. I think they
roast
should be like, oh, he's a normie, and that's fine. But people were like, he's got to look cool. You don't gotta look cool, but if you do look cool, that's sick. That's my opinion.
So
on it.
sick.
Thunder Pelicans. We're looking at it right now. Crescent jersey's stupid.
And they're not working if they're supposed to hype them up.
Well, dude, they lost Zion and they lost the series. And we said it last week, and I'm like, you gotta lean on Brandon Ingram and all this stuff. You lose Zion, you lose the series.
yeah, that's
This
true.
team again. This is the best team in the West. Are they actually? No, the Nuggets are considerably, in my opinion. But Shea's a dog. Chet's a dog. Josh Giddey a dog in more ways than one. Like Lou Dort. Lou Dort is probably the best defensive guard, at least in the West. I mean, people will argue me on that, but he's been on his shit. I don't think New Orleans can win this. C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram. There's
no shot. To your point, without Zion, who is good when he plays, there's no chance they win this series. There is zero shot.
Now, can we talk about my favorite series?
Let's talk about your favorite series, Vince.
The Phoenix Suns and the Timberwolves are playing.
Oh my God, man!
And it's so fun. And everybody's doing this too. I'm not the only person, but I'm such a fanboy, dude. Anthony Edwards is the man.
He's an absolute dog.
He is the man. Okay, so last night, 2 nights ago, they're playing. Anthony Edwards just streaking hard like he usually does. And Cubs game's getting out if you hear that. He runs back on the court, backpedaling, talking shit to
Love
Kevin
it.
Durant.
As he should.
And I like the way he was going because he's talking shit and he's got a little grin on his face. And Kevin Durant's laughing at him like, come on, dude. Anthony Edwards many times has said Kevin Durant is like his idol, Like he's the one that he wants to be like, which is not bad.
Not a bad person to want to be like.
As far as skill levels concerned.
Very true.
So you go from like idol to rival, and that's pretty sick.
It is sick.
I think it's so fun.
I mean, this is what you play the game for. And to be perfectly honest, right now,
they're so much better
with
than him.
Anthony Edwards on this team and the size, and their big men are healthy with Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns was probably doing his nails in the locker room after the game.
He's
so
zesty,
happy.
baby, just like our new
He's
quarterback.
very zesty, like our new QB, which we'll talk about. But Anthony Edwards may be solidifying himself. Now, the stat line of this game, not very impressive. I mean, 15 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds.
No.
But the man plays his face off, and you got to love it when you see that type of effort in basketball today.
On the other end of the court, this combination of players is not going to work.
No.
It won't. They all want the ball. They play ISO basketball 90% of the time. It's like Devin Booker gets the ball. All right, this is his possession. And everybody else is just sitting there waiting to see what Devin Booker does. And when you're against a team that has Cat, that has Rudy Gobert, just monsters in the middle, you can't drive, you got to shoot, but they are a good rotational defensive team. The Timberwolves are better than them. It's not going to work, dude. Devin Booker's also playing point guard.
Yeah, that's not his position.
You're playing-
It'd be like if Kobe played
Well, that's what I
point
was saying.
guard.
You're playing like junior varsity Kobe Bryant at point guard. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't agree with the construction of the roster of the Suns. I believe if Bradley, Bill, and Book were on this team, you'd probably see a more successful team and then a different piece like a big man or
You say you
someone
believe
in-
that if both of those guys were on the team?
If Bradley
they
Beal and
are.
Devin Booker were on the team, just meaning no KD.
No KD?
Yeah, because there's only one basketball,
You
right?
can't make that argument, though. You have to be able
Well-
to replace Kevin Durant. Like,
Well-
if Kevin Durant and Devin Booker were on the team,
That happened
And
for
Bradley
a while.
Beal wasn't there, and they brought in
they
a
were
really
close.
good point guard.
They were close. That happened for a while. They were close.
They need CP3, man.
They might need CP3 back because he was probably the glue that was needed, and he could also
Yeah.
distribute. Right now, you're not seeing much of that. I mean, you look at the stat line for Devin Booker, 25.
Bradley
And
Beal
then-
played 42 minutes and scored 14 points.
Yeah, once again, there's one basketball, and to your point of their style of play, it doesn't jive with the players on the team. And you
Nope.
can have a lot of great players, but if they can't score when their job is to, in fact, do so and do it a lot, and once again, there's one basketball, and you have to distribute it accordingly.
Well, you got to
They're not
remember,
doing
they
that.
gave Grayson Allen a massive extension to score 3 points in 17
that guy
minutes.
is such a
the
turd.
worst. He's
Such
the
a
worst.
turd.
Grayson Allen was the worst in college. Grayson Allen was the worst when he was kicking guys on the Bulls in the balls during a game and just not getting in trouble. Grayson Allen is the worst.
He's a dirty player, and he always has been. He was when he was at Duke, and not only that, he's kind of like the
white boy
preppy
dirt
kid, the
Duke
preppy
guy.
kid in high school whose dad would sue you, or he was the kid who'd
Don't
be like,
touch
well,
me,
my
my dad's gonna sue
my
you.
dad'll sue you. I'll make dad sue you. He's like that kid. He's
Yeah.
the archetype of that type of person that you just really want to punch in the nose.
Yep.
You know? So Grayson Allen, not a fan, okay? And
Big
the
not a
Suns,
fan.
with that being said, are probably going to get swept this series.
That'd be
They
awesome.
look like they want nothing to do with it. And I do think, to your point, next season, depending on the Thunder's streak right now, I do believe they're going to win this series against the Pelicans. With that, I do believe KD, you could see him go back to OKC to kind of be
He ain't
that
the number
veteran.
one, though.
Well,
He
that's
ain't the
fine.
No, it's good, but he needs to know that. Like
But
he's number 2,
either
like he was
that-
Steph Curry. Was
Either
the
that
idea.
or the Bulls will sign him and make us feel like they just
no,
signed like
give me
prime
Kevin Durant.
KD.
No, give me him. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
you want him?
Oh, I love it.
That would be great.
Also respected Jaden McDaniels
Yeah.
because he's a dog and he went off 25 and 8 for a guy playing forward for that team, small forward. Obviously not the main attraction of the team. And then also Mike Conley. Mike Conley on the Suns right now.
Mike Conley, man, former Grizzlies,
Yeah,
great. Mike
yeah.
Conley is a dog.
He's
always
been,
has been.
he's been good, dude. If you look at his stats, like sneaky Hall of Fame type guy.
Yeah,
Sneaky, because you don't think about him that way because he wasn't like big in the limelight because he was playing in Memphis for so long. Sneaky Hall of Fame guy. Just look him. Just give him a little look. See
I'm
what
just
it does.
so happy that the Lakers aren't in the playoffs, so I don't have to see LeBron James all the time.
They are.
Yeah, that's right. They're playing the Nuggets. Never mind.
So
They're
they
still
might
gonna
they
lose.
might as well not be in the. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, great. Let's talk about that for a second.
I hate him. He still cries.
The
He
Los
gets
An-
every call, but he still cries when he loses to
the
a
Los
far better
Angeles
team.
Lakers were beating the Nuggets by 20 the other night. This was right after that Knicks game. Knicks Sixers. They were beating the Nuggets by 20 points. And they still lost. That's the first time that's happened in like 30 years.
Good.
Nikola Jokic, everybody's saying it. I agree to a point, but like it's beautiful poetry in motion. He like stumbles into a triple-double.
The man is just truly an anomaly of a human being. on
It's
the court.
great.
He just makes it look so like whatever, and he's that good. And with all of that, I'm just so happy that they're going to beat them. And they're already winning the series 2-0.
I mean, dude,
It's
what
wonderful.
a team build too.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's like Michael Malone won, good coach. And like this is when coaching starts mattering in basketball because they make the right decisions. They don't pull a Nick Nurse. Jamal Murray too. I think he scores. I think he has the biggest differentiation last year from like a regular season to postseason for a finals winning team in points production. He scores, and you could fact check me on this. I'm not 100% sure what the exact amount is, but he scores like an extra 12 points a game in the playoffs. Like on average.
Players
like,
make plays,
the
baby.
guy's the man.
Players making plays. People
And
loving people.
when you need him, that happens. They have Michael Porter Jr., who, in any other circumstance, a guy that looks like him with the amount of credit he had coming into the league or going into college, like the Bulls would have made him the number one guy, and that wouldn't have been the right idea. And then you got KCP also just sitting around doing what needs to be done in the back end. The team is built wonderfully. Aaron Gordon in the dunk position is wonderful. Like, I don't see in my mind of minds how the Nuggets aren't in the finals again this year.
Yeah, people called it last year too. They said that if this roster is constructed this way next season, we don't see anybody moving past them. Now, you could see a sneaky team like the Timberwolves really stay on this hot streak that they have. They have the size to compete with them.
They
first
don't
and
have
foremost.
the experience, though.
That you don't necessarily need that. You need to be hot at the right time, and I've always thought that and said that.
Yeah, because I guess the Nuggets didn't have the experience until last year.
Correct. So you need experience somehow. How do you get that? You keep winning. And when you're a young, hot team, like the Timberwolves are right now, constructed to play against bigger teams,
but
for
the
example,
Nuggets are deep,
like
bro.
the Nuggets. I know, but right
you
now.
got Reggie Jackson as the last guy on your bench right now, and he's still beasting.
I know.
Like,
Plays baseball. It's nuts. But with all that being said, I do believe if there's one team that will compete best against the Nuggets, it's the Timberwolves, just simply due to the size that they have in the middle.
I agree.
There's no doubt about it.
Well, and just Gobert's a defensive stalemate.
Who's going to size up better with Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic than Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns? There's not many out there. Teams designed to beat a team like the
Jaden
Nuggets.
McDaniels on Michael Porter Jr., Anthony Edwards on Jamal.
You got Anthony Edwards, man. He'll lock him up one, which he's wonderful defensively, which you have to respect in the modern NBA.
I just think, dude,
and he just makes plays.
Again, granted, the Timberwolves bench is very good, but once benches come in, like if you have Christian Brown coming in and KCP and Reggie Jackson, like I said, like
your bench is going to have to step up. There's no doubt about it.
And they do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. It's great. Like there's nothing that the Nuggets don't do.
Correct, but once again, the king of the mountain always has to get knocked.
The best thing about Nikola Jokic, especially this year, is he's been trying to get like and one fouls anywhere on the court.
Well, yeah.
But I'm saying like someone will come in to rush him and try to grab the ball, and he'll try shooting it from like half court to get like an and one foul.
That's fantastic.
And he never gets the call. Like no one ever makes the call.
They know
but
what
he's trying.
doing. It's not like they don't know what he's doing. So I think it's great though. But
it's
talk
so
about
funny.
a guy once again just makes it look so easy. To your point, poetry in motion. Technically, he's a very sound player.
Looks like he gets battered and bruised every game he plays.
He just looks like a typical like Midwest electrician.
Yep.
As from a comp, if you're going to look at the guy, he's nothing special.
Well, yeah, but
he's a monster of a human.
He's also 7'2".
Correct.
Right? That was my thought.
Correct.
He's the world's tallest electrician.
That is
for
one
sure.
tall Serb.
Yeah,
that is one tall.
He
Serbian.
takes care of ceiling lamps essentially. So
Vince, if we had to call it right now today, what's your finals?
Same one it's been for the last second half of the season. It's going to be Boston versus Nuggets.
You still believe that?
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't see anybody in the East besides the Heat even having a chance against Boston. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's very unlikely.
I think the Heat have an opportunity to go back home and win a game.
I think you want them to, too, though.
Well, I do want them to. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are great, Jason Tatum, and I think, on that team, Porzingis has really started to find his home.
Oh, yeah.
So you look at that,
What
I understand
a third
it.
guy. Oh,
I understand it.
it's so good.
But with that being said, the Heat, I want them to win, and I do believe that series is going to go 7. So let's keep paying attention to it. Basketball Mike is in full effect.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Vince, we're doing this thing right now where, we really want to know the people's opinions on the draft talk that we got going on.
Yep.
So if you haven't noticed yet, we want to give you some free stuff. So if you want some free stuff, only come here if you want free stuff.
Do it, dude.
Okay? I think you should leave.
Only listen to this if you want.
Only listen to this podcast and fill out that form if you want free stuff. Only come here for that.
So complex
I'm going to let Vince talk to you for a second. Hey!
Just go to our page, guys. Just click on the post. There's enough of them. You heard it from me already. Click on the post. Share it with a friend. Go to our link tree. My ears hurt. Do it. Back to the show.
Back to the show.
The NFL draft is here, Mike.
To stay.
What do you gotta say?
Oh, man.
Thank you for coming to Jazz Hour with Taxi Squad. It's the NFL draft today, kids. And as you just heard me say, if you're listening to this before the draft starts and it's 30 minutes before or more, you can still sign up for the Taxi Squad.
Once
Draft
again,
spectacular.
don't come here if you don't want free
Free
stuff. If
It's
you
free
want
stuff.
free stuff, fill out the form, share it with a friend. and you're going to win some free stuff. I mean,
Facts.
that's just kind of how this whole thing is going to work.
That's
So,
facts.
That's if you're correct. So put your knowledge to the test, all right? You think you're Mel, right? You think you're one of these guys. Prove it, right? Think you got what it takes. Prove it. All right, Vince. So we did our mock draft last week, and it was pretty exciting, to say the least. I think you might be backtracking a little bit on the Brock Bowers thing, but we'll see what's going to happen.
I think I'm
this
wrong
evening.
too. One thing I want to say, Stump the Schwab. I don't know if you saw this.
What's this?
You remember Stump the Schwab?
What's Stump the Stump the Schwab. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Schwab. Yeah.
Schwab passed.
Oh man,
That's sad.
That is sad.
So last night I watched like 10 or 11 episodes of Stump the Schwab.
Oh, nice.
That needs to come back.
Yeah, it does.
That show rocked.
Yeah, because the guy knew a lot.
He knew. Well, yeah, that's the whole concept of the show,
that's
dude.
It's like, wait, Bill Nye the Science Guy knew shit about science?
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, but that show rocked, and like you see people on there, they're just more nervous than they've ever been in their whole life to go on there, and he's just wearing like a New Jersey Devils sweater and just like hanging out. But rest in peace to the King, dude. They got to bring that back because the thing is too is Stuart Scott hosted it.
Man, I love Stu Scott.
Me too.
R.I.P. to Stu Scott. The
It
man
sucks.
was cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Speaking of one thing that moves to another thing,
What moves?
the Bears.
Bears.
Chicago Bears unveil a $5 billion
Bears.
dome stadium concept.
Can you believe it?
I don't know if there's enough room for what they want to do,
We
dude.
go look at the renderings
Yeah.
of this. I don't know where the hell all of it's going to go.
I drive by it almost daily. Like almost every single day I see it.
Bears.
There's not enough room there, like in that area to do so. Are they going to build out into the lake or something? I'm not sure. It looks very cool. I would love that. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson clearly said
my God.
that this isn't a political show. Clearly said that it's not going to cost tax dollars to Chicago residents. And I say,
my ass.
well, no, extra more than we're already
My
paying.
ass.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, no shot.
But even so, like if it's a nominal difference, like I'm not completely against doing so. I'm just more so like they've made so much money on this damn team, and Soldier
And
Field is still the smallest stadium in the league. So
It's a shithole.
I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if they did it. I like that they're gonna stay in Chicago overall.
I
But-
don't. See, I
Yeah.
just like all of this. You bought 300 acres.
Well, that was just dumb that they did that.
You bought 300 acres in Arlington Heights to be developed, and they claim that it's not structurally sound enough to support it, which I'm calling bullshit on.
What is the actual lake?
I just I truly think management, George, Kevin, all these guys just have a hard on for staying in the city, and they want to be the Chicago Bears. Because I watched I heard the press conference today.
I like that thought process.
I get it, but it's still missing the point of trying to build a nicer and easier solution for your fans to get in and out and to go to games and to tailgate and to really
This
make
is supposed to help that.
They're not going to be able to tailgate here. I mean, there is no shock. Chances are they're going to knock down the shit box.
Why wouldn't they be able to tailgate?
Because you can't right now anyways.
Yeah, you can. The White Sox.
Okay, yeah, the White Sox.
Yeah, but what if they just legalize tailgating there?
What am I going to, just go to the south side? I mean, you could tailgate
Well, no, I'm
at a
saying-
Bears game, but it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, but if they change the parking lot situation,
They're
like,
not.
the
Where are you
thing-
going to go? You have nowhere to go
That's
but up
my
in that
point.
part
I
of
don't.
the world.
There's not a lot of room.
Yeah.
I do think they're going to this is going to cost a lot because it's not only a stadium, it's everything.
Yeah.
I do think they're going to better the infrastructure, which is a dire need right now. I like the idea of them staying. I like it. I understand the other side too. I think they wasted a bunch of money buying Arlington. That's going to have nothing in it now.
It's just I saw it yesterday from a bird's eye view. Literally, it's an abandoned racetrack. All the grandstands are gone. It's actually kind of sad.
It is sad.
Because it was a wonderful institution to go watch the ponies race.
Is this a I believe it when I see it situation?
No, I mean, it's official.
Is it though?
It's official. They had a press conference about it today.
They
There's
had a press
renderings
conference about Arlington
and
Heights.
yeah, but they didn't show renderings.
Yeah,
what
but
it's supposed to be.
We
and
saw
how they're-
renderings of Lot
how they are-
76 for the White
How
Sox.
they are committed
Oh yeah.
to being in Chicago and stay on the lakefront and all this good stuff.
They've never backed down from a commitment, which is cool.
Oh my God, I love the press conference. They were like, and playing on the lake and having water that you could swim in and boat in. It's like, yeah, when, there's not a fucking E. coli warning not to swim in it. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. either that or
No,
when
swimming
they're
in Lake
finding-
Michigan's nice.
Or when they're finding, if you want to freeze your ass off.
No, it's fun in the summer. Come on.
Yeah, the beaches are great. You go to Oak Street Beach, you go to North Avenue
Hey,
Beach, you're going to have a good time.
Oak Street was rated top 5 beach in America.
Oak Street's a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, just with the city in the background, and
Yeah.
it's truly a beautiful thing, and it's a great sight in the summer.
There's not a fucking room, though. That's
They're-
my
they're-
argument.
Either way, okay, so they're staying in Chicago. They're going to build another spaceship. They claim $2 billion of their own money. Thank you so much, Chicago Bears.
And
You're
then it's
so
going to
very
cost
generous.
5, so they're not even paying for half
You're
of it.
so very generous. And then again, our lovely mayor, who knows so much about saving
Hey, you
money,
live in Arizona. This isn't your mayor
Doesn't
anymore.
matter. Doesn't matter.
You don't vote
It's
in these
still
elections.
not. No, I don't vote for these people, and I don't know who does anymore.
I do.
Between Beetlejuice and this asshole.
That was wild.
I don't know.
Lori was wild.
Lori was horrible. Dailies need to run this city because they
No,
did it for a while. And they might have
they
been a
weren't
little mobbed
good
up,
either.
But this city was clean.
It was
and there
the
was not
no,
a lot of
it
crime.
wasn't. It was the windiest. It was the windiest time, dude. Come
Yeah,
on.
I know. I mean, politics. I'm just saying. What do they say? It's like that whole thought process of lawyers. What's 100 good lawyers at the bottom of the ocean?
I don't know.
It's a good start. Same thing with politicians, in my
Good
opinion.
start.
But with
yeah, I agree with you.
But
there.
with all of this, okay, so they're moving. They're staying on the lake shore. They're going to build a mega facility, all this good stuff. I'm curious during construction where they're going to play because I'm assuming they're going to knock down Soldier Field in order to create the room that
To
we
cater.
speak. Right. And they claim they're going to keep the arches of Soldier Field because that's a memorable piece, even though it's lost its historical properties of what that is many moons
legally,
ago.
yeah, legally.
Legally, it's no longer a historic property.
That is so stupid, though,
So
right?
dumb that they should have, if they were going to put a dome on it, they should have did it right the first time, but they missed the mark. So with all that, Caleb Williams, presumably, will now have a wonderful place to play football. And I saw the renderings. They look gorgeous, of course. And the idea and thought process, when fully completed, it will be a lovely sight to see, of course.
Yeah.
I just do think that missing the mark on Arlington Heights is a pure miss. It's dumb.
No,
You put-
totally. Yeah.
Poor
But
financials.
it's kind of one of those, like, 2 wrongs don't make a right situation, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
But
they already did it. Like, if you find a better opportunity, and obviously Arlington Heights was not playing ball with them, like, that's the thing, too. You don't want to go to a place that doesn't want you there.
no.
They didn't want them there. They wanted them for the
Yeah.
taxes. It was
Well,
bullshit.
Well, of course you want that for the taxes.
Right, but they hiked it up against them. And I'm by no means fighting for the McCaskies here, but if they're going to do that, they're like, fine, we'll bring all of the business that you were going to have and put it back in the city, which is what they're doing.
yeah, no, I get it.
So it's like, screw you guys. Like, we're going to go over here and do that anyway.
I understand it. It's still the just geographical nightmare of going to a Bears game. It's not fun. It's a full day event. And
Yep.
if you're coming out from the Chicago suburbs, you just plan for the whole day. Being
Well, hopefully they make it a little bit easier to get
it's
in and out.
not going to be easier to get in and out.
You
if
don't know
anything.
that.
How? Where are you going to go?
I don't know, man. I'm not a city planner.
There you go. If anything, this is going to give more ammo to Jerry Reinsdorf to be like, well, look, I need to sell more milkshakes.
There it is.
I need to sell more milkshakes. Milkshakes, not baseball. That's what we're doing here on the South Side, okay?
We're essentially a
if you-
Cold Stone Creamery.
If you want great food at a reasonable price and the best milkshake you've ever had, come down to the South Side, a guaranteed rate restaurant where we don't play. Come for dinner, watch a ball game. With all of that,
Watch them attempt to play a ball.
watch
game.
them attempt to play baseball,
Yeah.
which they have lost now. Another game
And you will note that we have not talked about baseball today because
there's it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad right now.
I'm having a sad time.
Yeah, baseball this year is pretty underwhelming to say the least. But
That's-
football is here still,
Yeah.
right, Vince?
Never goes.
And we're here with football,
Never
and we're
goes.
talking football, and we love it. And the draft is tonight. So with all of that, we're going to announce a winner here in the near future as to
Yeah.
who won against the Taxi Squad pod and who's going to get some free merch.
You probably beat
Will be
me,
a
kid.
yeah, you probably beat me too, but you never know. So with all of that, new news, Zach Wilson gets moved to Denver. They swap picks, basically. So
Yep.
it's just like, hey, do you want this guy? I believe Sean Payton feels as if he sees something in this person, and maybe he could try and do something. I still do believe, though, the Broncos are going to draft a quarterback in the first round and try and move up to do so. Would you agree?
It depends on where they land. I mean, if you're talking Williams, you're talking Drake May, you're talking Jaden Daniels, obviously, and then also J.J. McCarthy goes all in the top 10. If that happens, you're left with Penix. You're left with Bo Nix.
That's really it.
How much do you have to move up to get him? I don't know if Penix is Brandon Ingram's down. That's not good.
Breaking news. Brandon
That's
Ingram's
not
down.
good. Yeah, you're looking at like you can get Penix. Some people are grading him like 32, 33 in the draft. Like you might not even have to move up to get him.
Penix, in my opinion, is arguably one of the best throwers of the football in this draft.
Yeah.
I mean, truly can put the ball through any window.
Yeah,
in
last
any
year,
location.
though.
Well, I'm just saying, he's been healthy now the past 2 years. Granted, there's a lot of injury history there.
Yeah.
Which
You can make an argument for Jaden Daniels, too. So.
I mean, he played in a national championship. He ran into a buzzsaw of a Michigan team,
Yep.
and they looked to be the part of a national championship why they won.
Yep.
With that being said, Bo Nix kind of gives me some enticing feelings for the Broncos in particular because Sean Payton, okay, I think that archetype Drew Brees-ish system quarterback, played a long, long time in college, will come in, know how to run a system. I think that's what Payton likes.
I can see it. I think a lot of people are discounting him because of Auburn, but he played very well on the other 9 teams he played for in the last 15 years he was in college football. So I think we should give him a break for the last couple of years.
I guess the biggest question coming out of this whole thing and leading into the draft is question marks. And to me, the biggest question mark, if we're looking at this, is Chicago Bears pick at 9. Right now, there's a lot of speculation. What do you do? If one of the top 3 wide receivers is there, take him. A lot of people have also discussed if you could trade up potentially to get Marvin Harrison Jr., if he's still there potentially at 4, to do so. Or maybe, just maybe, trade back, accrue more picks, and fill the needs on the team that you desperately need. Wide receiver, of course, is a need and a want. Offensive
It's not a
and defensive
desperate
line.
need, though.
Well, I understand. Keenan Allen's old on a final year of a deal, and
Yeah.
DJ Moore is DJ Moore. He's amazing. And you bring in Gerald Everett, you have Cole Kmet, and all of these things look wonderful. But with that, are you on the side of trading up or are you on the side of trading down?
I think I'm on the side of trading down. Sorry for smacking my mic there. Yeah, that probably didn't feel good for your ears. I'm on the side of trading down because everything I'm seeing, and like I'm on Daniel Jeremiah Twitter notifications. Like, what did he just post right now? I think everybody's trying to get an offensive tackle, which the first thought I had is, well, if everybody wants one and we have a chance to get one, like, why wouldn't we go get one of those guys? And then the other part of me is like, well, they might pay a premium knowing that everybody else is trying to go get a tackle. So if you can move down to 15, 20 or something like that, we have 4 picks in this draft. We could truly use more picks than just 4. And there's a lot of good draft grades on wide receivers that are going to be at the end of the first and at the beginning of the second round. It's not going to be Roma Dunze. It's not going to be Malik Neighbors, obviously. But if you can pick up a guy, like, what is it, Mac McConkle, or whatever the hell the guy's name is, he's a beast. Like, if you can go and pick him up, that's not a bad idea, too. Like, I feel like you can get a lot of value at that 9 pick, and Poles has proven that he can get some shit for some picks. Like, it's been proven already. I'd like to see him try. I don't think they're going to move up. I don't think that's really possible with the ammo we have right now. Like, what are they going to do, give up 2-3 picks this year, and we're going to have 2?
Yeah, that's my issue. You can't give up more draft capital, and you really don't have a lot of assets to trade unless you want to trade like Khalil Herbert or somebody wants a running back.
Yeah,
but I don't
yeah,
see
but
that
what do
happening.
you get for that? Like a 5th rounder?
Yeah. What do you look at that? Now,
Yeah.
if you look at this class of offensive linemen, strong. If you look at the class of wide receivers, strong. So I don't care what they do at 9. Ideally, trade back, get some more capital in this draft in particular, and get those holes filled, especially on the offensive line. I'm not a fan of Braxton Jones. I don't necessarily believe he is the long-term solution.
I think
at
he's a
left
good
tackle.
backup.
Yeah, I think he's a great backup, and maybe on a shitty team he's a starter. But, you know, when you look at Darnell Wright starting at right tackle, that's solidified. Tevin Jenkins, when he's on the field, plays well, and I think he can thank coaching for moving him to guard.
That's kind of why you need a
dog.
backup.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
when you look at Joe Alt, of course, he's the apple of the eye. But you look at guys like J.C. Latham. You look at Talise Fuaga. You look at Troy Fontenot.
J.C. Latham's getting a lot of play recently. A lot of play.
Well, he's a Bama guy. He's a monster.
Big
and
boy.
he's a glass eater. And that's what you want at
He might
that
be going
position.
5 if the Chargers stay.
Now, if Joe Alt's there at 9, do you take him? Is it just like, yeah, hammer
Yes.
sound, no brainer, you take him?
Yeah, if you're not, I mean, if he's already there at 9 and you don't have a trade set, you take him.
Yeah, I agree.
As much as I would love Brock Bowers, but in that situation, he was already gone. If Tennessee doesn't take him, I don't know if the Falcons are going to do that because they're probably going to focus on defensive end because there's a couple guys there, or they trade it to, like you said, the Broncos. I mean, NBC Sports has J.J. McCarthy going to the Broncos at 8. So every mock draft is right and also bullshit. So, like, you don't really know what you're looking for. Yeah, I could see him trading him. I could see him trading 9, but if Joe Alt's there, they take him. He's so good, dude. And he was a tight end that moved to tackle. Like, if he has to play right tackle, that's not going to be a brutal change compared to him becoming
Darnell
catch
Wright's
passer.
there. He will be your left tackle.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people say that he's more so designed to be on the left side of the line, and moving him to right tackle would actually be a disservice considering.
Darnell?
No, not Darnell
Alt?
Wright. Joe Alt.
He was a tight end 2 years ago.
They say he moves differently from the left side of the ball to the right. So
Okay.
you got to look at the analyst side there and go, okay, there you go.
I guess, but it's not like he's a born and bred, already fully trained tackle. He probably doesn't even know what to do entirely yet.
No, I get it, but with that being said, you want that guy at left tackle. To me, he's a generational talent. The pedigree is there.
Yeah.
His father played in the NFL. He's an absolute
You saying you
dog.
want Alt at left?
I would want
So
Alt
you
at
moved
left
Darnell
tackle.
right to right.
No, he's already at right.
Oh, is he already right tackle?
Yeah, he's right tackle.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Then yeah, why not?
Braxton Jones has been playing
Oh,
left
yeah,
tackle.
duh.
Yeah, no,
Which
it's a
is
no-brainer.
which is a great idea.
Now, another thing is
Worked
the
out
Bears
great.
do need a fair amount of help on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of people are saying maybe look at adding opposite of Montez Sweat to give him some breaks and more one-on-ones. That's the whole goal.
Talking Dallas?
Yeah, either Dallas Turner and Gerard. Who's your favorite defensive end in this draft if you had to pick one?
Honestly, well, I mean, Dallas is a edge rusher. I like edge rushers. Some people are worried about his size. Can I say Byron Murphy?
Byron Murphy.
I want a Tommy Harris, man.
You want Tommy Harris?
I want Tommy Harris.
I love Tommy Harris.
I want a big guy in the middle just running through guys. I want an Aaron Donald archetype. You're not going to have to pick up Byron Murphy at 9, though. If you pick up Byron Murphy at 17, 18, you trade someone else trades up.
Yeah, I see it, but
That's not a bad idea.
You also drafted 2 defensive linemen in the second round last year.
Yeah.
To plug and play, which they did actually play pretty well this
Well,
year.
when you get a Byron Murphy, you know.
That's true. I understand that. Now, if you look at the kid who transferred from USC to UCLA, Latu, I think if he's there in the 14s,
Yep.
he's a no-brainer as well if you do, in fact, trade back. At 9, listen, if Roma Dunze's there, Malik Neighbors there, I just don't see how you move out of that pick. This is my biggest opinion on this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta want to take him. But
What do you, as a fan, though? Do you want the sexy thing or do you want the safe thing? Looking at this team construction right now, do you want the sexy thing or do you want the safe
I want protection for our new guy.
Right.
Because don't forget that we're picking him first. So anybody after that, we rank under him. So what you want to do is protect the guy. And also, we have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and a couple tight ends. Like, we do have people that can catch balls. Yes, I want another wide receiver. Yes, I know Keenan Allen could be gone in a couple of years. But, like, you got to want to pick an offensive lineman. Because if you hit that correctly, that can be a combination for a long time.
A very long time. I am in no disagreement. Now, if you have your finger on the thumb or your thumb on the pulse of local Chicagoans, I just love Chicago radio for this thing.
Trade the pick.
You hear? All right, listen. So what you need to do, and this is a lot of people this time, you should still trade the number 1 pick to Washington and take the Jaden Daniels guy, and that still could happen. So you do that, you get the, in quote, haul, and then from there, you could build for years to come, and you don't necessarily need Caleb. For anybody who's been paying attention, it's a done deal. I mean, you hear Ryan Poles talk about it in press conference. He starts giggling and laughing like a girl that he likes at school. So it's a done deal.
He's been throwing balls to Keenan, DJ Moore. He was throwing balls to Roma Dunze. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. He was throwing balls to all 3 of them, and they were just chummy and nice and having a good time. Like, that's a done deal. And as much as I want him to take Joe Alt and everything, I think they're pretty set on taking Roma Dunze. If all of the hype I've been seeing is true, like I wouldn't be surprised if they take the man.
Now, one person no one's talking about in this draft who would have been a Heisman hopeful if he didn't get drastically hurt and tear his ankle up. Everybody's sleeping on Jordan Travis. He's in this draft. Jordan Travis looked great at Florida State last year.
No one wants him, though.
No one wants him. I understand the injury is horrific, but, I mean, do you think if you take a Jordan Travis to sit in the future and he comes out, he was a potential first-round talent. I mean, do you think if you're a team with an aging quarterback, maybe you look at the Jets, you look at maybe Minnesota, something along those lines.
But he gives me Deshaun Kaiser energy.
Yeah, that's a great comp.
It's got me worried. Like Deshaun Kaiser was supposed to be all right coming out, and he just never did a thing.
What about your boy Sam Hartman? And you think the flow is getting drafted?
Fifth round, maybe sixth round. Dude, Sam Hartman is old. Sam Hartman was not that good.
He's like my age.
He's just right. Well, not actually, but he's more like my age.
He's damn near 30.
Yeah, he's I would love to see him play well, but like Notre Dame quarterbacks have not been good. I mean, Drew Pine, shout out to him. So Sam Hartman was a lot better than what we've seen, but he's not an NFL talent. He's a second, like a backup, maybe. Like a third. He's like Nathan Peterman. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Hartman starts playing the Nathan Peterman role. That's kind of where I'd slot him in.
Listen, the best job on the planet. There's no disrespect to any of these guys.
Yeah.
The best job on the planet is a backup quarterback.
He's also a hot guy.
Oh, he's a good looking.
So that helps. Yeah.
He goes to a market like Cali, he'll slay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
Slay all day.
King.
So Stetson Bennett. Come on now.
With all of that, I mean, what are you looking at in this draft? And you're like, okay, I would love to see X happen. Do you want a big trade?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want something that you're like, whoa? And if so, what is that?
I got to see Jimmy Boy trade out of 5.
Okay.
I know that's kind of like people are saying that's going to happen. A lot of people are saying that he's interested in offensive tackles, though. A lot of people are, again, trading up for offensive tackles. I want to see a trade up to 5, and I want to see somebody pick JJ.
You want JJ at 5?
Because I don't think it's going to transfer well. And I think that a lot of teams think it's going to. And, I mean, Jim Harbaugh's saying he's the best thing since sliced bread. Jim Harbaugh thinks he's the best quarterback in this draft. And I think he's saying that half because it's his guy and the other half because he knows he can get good value if he keeps pushing that.
Oh, and people listen to him.
He's also in a unique spot where he coached him last year and now he's in the NFL. You only get that 1 year.
He's really in the catbird seat. If you do look at his pick at 5 and what he plans to do, and he's been on record as saying he can, move through deficiencies if the offensive line is tight. So I do believe, to Vince's point, you will see that. Now at 5, I do believe you will see the Chargers trade out. What that pick's going to be. There's also a lot of rumblings right now that New England Patriots said they're open for business.
Yep.
So this is also going to be very interesting. Does a team like the Vikings, does a team like the Broncos that we just discussed look at moving up to 3? And if so, who are they going to take?
Drake May.
I had Drake May at 3.
Drake May's going 3 regardless.
You think?
From everything I've heard, like no matter who's there.
But you had JJ at 3.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Okay, so that was just for fun. Mike is too fucking
No,
reasonable
it's
with
like,
this,
you know, like last week you're hearing all the rumblings and the shit. Like you're starting to hear real stuff you like to think. And obviously that's never always the case. But right now you're hearing real stuff and it's like the drop-off between Drake May and the next guy. Like I think Todd McShay said this where it was like Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are sort of close. And then after that you get Drake May and then way after that you get everybody else. That's kind of where people are valuing him at. Like, and also, mind you, the quarterback position is the quarterback position, and people are going to overdraft for the quarterback position. Would I ever take a North Carolina quarterback again? No, completely gun shy, but I know somebody would.
Yeah, the Mitch thing, I think, has
it hurts my
a little
feelings,
worried.
man.
It does.
I liked him.
Oh my God, when that happened, we want to lose faith in a franchise.
Everybody gave up.
Everybody gave up.
No one was
like,
excited.
Who's this kid? And Ryan Pace, man, just oh God,
brutal.
Just a sweet. His draft picks, go back and look, not
bad,
bueno. Not bueno.
Where's he? Atlanta?
Adrian Amos, maybe the best draft pick that Ryan Pace.
Yeah,
ever
and
had.
he went to the worst place in the world after he was done with the Bears.
Yeah, he did. He went to the Packers, and he's owning. So,
Bad.
with all that being said, I think a pick for me that's interesting is the Bengals at 18.
Yeah.
And I think the Bengals may be in a position to want to move or trade, considering recent filings today that Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins both request trades.
Yep.
They're on the final year of their contracts and slated to be, in this case, tagged. So, in your eyes, I mean, when you look at this, did the Bengals look at potentially moving up? Maybe they look at trading with Chicago if a guy like Roma Dunze or Malik Neighbors is there?
No, retool. I don't think they pick up a wide receiver. I think they bolster the defense.
Okay.
I think they believe, and again, like I said, I think the second round has a lot of feasible, decent wide receivers. Like, they still have Jamar Chase on that team, and no one's taking over that spot. I don't know if they're going to use another high pick on a receiver like that. But I do think, especially if Trey Hendrickson's gone, because he kind of is the lifeblood of that defense for all intents and purposes, if you can pick an edge guy or you can, again, pick a Byron Murphy who's getting slotted into that position by a couple people already, I think that's a tangible thing. I think they would utilize that. Also, respect to Brian Thomas. Not enough people are talking about him, but he's also a dog.
Yeah, absolute freak. There's no doubt about it. Now, with that being said, okay, there's a lot of potential movement that's going to go on in this draft. Now, last week we did do our mock.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any regrets you're having on your mock?
Oh, the majority of it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I'm so indecisive. If I was in a NFL like draft room, you know when you draft your fantasy team?
Yeah.
And then you look at it and you're like, how the hell did that happen?
You're like, fuck.
Right. That's exactly what happened to me. I'd be like, I really like this guy. And then I draft him and I'm like, shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that.
So what's your biggest regret?
So I'm looking back at it now. I mean, Bowers probably. But the thing is he's so talented, and I think that he's going to get underdrafted. Unfortunately, I think he should be up high, and I don't think the Jets are going to be taking the guy anymore. You got to... Jesus. I don't think Marv's going 3 either. I think the reason I said Marv is going 3 is because I think New England's going to do something silly.
I think they're trading the pick.
I think that, yeah.
I think they're trading the pick. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
They said they're open for business. Somebody's going to want to come up and get one of those quarterbacks, and they have many glaring needs on their team where they can push to a year.
Dude, their team is so bad.
They're horrible.
They're so bad.
Like, other than Ramondre Stevenson, what redeeming person on that team would you want?
None.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Devontae Parker. Like, who do you want on that team?
Well, I mean,
nobody.
All right, so who picked quarterbacks in 2021? The Jaguars.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Fields.
The Patriots.
Mac
the
Jones.
Jets.
Zach Wilson.
Justin Fields is not on the same team he was on. Zach Wilson just got traded to Denver. Mac Jones is backing up the number 1 overall pick that year that not everybody's completely confident he's going to be good. Like, there's a realistic opportunity that quarterbacks don't work out. Like, that's really what's going to happen here. And someone's moving up for a quarterback. So if they don't want to pick a quarterback or they don't feel like it's the guy who they haven't had to worry about for 20-some-odd years until Brady ended up finishing in New England, like, if they're not 100% sure, then they might move out of it. My only thought is Robert Kraft needs some good graces right now because a lot of people hate him because of the whole documentary and hating on Bill Belichick. So maybe it's like pick a quarterback so they have something to focus on.
Yeah, I could see that thought process.
He has some, like, obviously as Poley's the owner, but I think he kind of tells people what to do.
Yeah, but I mean, he is Kraft. I mean, let's face it. He likes to get. He's a fan of the tugs.
Yep.
So with all that, he might tug in one direction, tug in another. You never know. I do agree to your point, though, that quarterbacks are always usually overvalued and a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
You look at what happened in 2021, and all of these guys are either on other teams or in a prove-it year. And when I say other guys, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, been to one playoff game. They had that run where they played the Chiefs, and it was a great game.
They were damn good at the end of 2022.
They were damn good at the end of 2022. This year was a big fall off.
Mm-hmm.
This usually happens to Doug Peterson teams.
Yep.
But are we looking at that draft as one of the potential worst drafts of the past decade?
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to my boy Alex for bringing up this prompt because he's right. I mean, you have Micah Parsons, who is a dog, and you're gonna have good players in every draft. So, like, Micah Parsons might be tampering that, but there's a lot of picks in there that were absolute misses. Now, granted, that was 3 years ago, and a lot of revisionist history can be made in about 5 years or so we can revisit it. But holy cow, is it bad, dude? Like, to see all these quarterbacks get traded except for one who was supposed to be the best prospect since Andrew Luck, like everybody's saying, and that doesn't work out that well. Like, you can blame it on the teams, but geez, all these guys suck. Like, what are we doing?
Well, and comparatively, how do these guys stack up?
That's the worry.
Is that because all of them can't be good, right? I mean,
Right.
Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and J.J. McCarthy.
Jaden Daniels was so bad at Arizona State.
He was horrible at
I don't
Arizona
think
State.
I don't think he's that guy anymore. Obviously, you progress and you get better, but don't forget how bad he was at Arizona State. Like,
Yes.
that could be a real issue if he goes to a different system and he doesn't play as well outside of family and Brian
And his
Kelly.
Well, granted, he did play in the SEC, a far better conference
Yeah,
than
and
where
he was damn good.
ASU is in the Pac-12. So
Right.
you do look at that and say, okay, so he did go to play better competition, just maybe a system fit. Granted, he was in a mutiny of a team with Herm Edwards and Antonio
Forgot
Pierce.
about that.
Antonio Pierce was the defensive coordinator for that team. You can't forget that. And then he
People
took
are
over.
saying that he might move to get him, and then all of the conversation after that is there's no shot that that's going to happen.
How
And
would
they don't have a.
How would
They don't have
do
a,
that. They don't have the capital.
No.
They lost so much because, Captain Josh decided to trade a lot of draft picks, which is usually what he does.
God.
And he fucks teams over for
How many years
generations.
until we get another Josh McDaniels head coach job?
I'm
Or
gonna
is
give
it over?
2. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give,
someone's
I'm
gonna
say 2 more
try.
years.
Someone's gonna try to do it again.
Somebody will. Somebody will.
So
Bottom line.
stupid.
Well, with all that, Vince, draft day is here. I'm excited.
Welcome, guys. Happy day. Happy holidays. Our
this-
future is bright.
This is a holiday, and tomorrow we would like to remind you that Vince and I will be coming to you live. Okay?
No,
So-
today.
Today. That is today. Sorry, I'm already.
You fucking that up so bad.
So today we will be going live. So be sure to check us out on the socials. Be sure to join us for a little draft soiree we're going to be having this evening in Chicago.
Check out the lives, kid.
Check out the lives. We're going to have a little mic here. Going to have some people floating around the house. You might see some interesting faces. You never know. With all that being said, we thank you for joining us week in, week out. We're so happy to be together this time around. Rarely does this happen anymore, so we're grateful when we can do it. So thank you for joining us. As always, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, which and wherever you get them. So if that's YouTube, if that's Spotify, if that's Apple Music, if that's Anchor, wherever you're listening today, please subscribe to us, give us a follow, and also on top of that, share it with a friend. This is the year of the siblings. Been saying it since the start of the year.
Facts.
So if you got a brother, step brother, half brother, maybe just a brother from another mother, give them a share to this. And as always, we will see you next week, people.
Talking tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know. Jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know. Catching vibes, we end this dance. Simple flow. And that's our sign to close the show.